The headline is Captain in the Cage. Derek Jeter is back in the Bronx, took some BP, then he grabbed his glove and took some ground balls. Don't get too excited, though. The Yankees still saying his return is sometimes after the All-Star break. It's time for baseball here in the Bronx as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Tampa Bay Rays in the third game of a four-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Paul O'Neill and David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. Well, coming into last night's game, the Yankees had lost 7 of 9. Offense sputtering, really struggling to score runs. But as they say, a child shall lead them, and he did last night.
Well, not every rookie. Zoilo Almonte has a night like this. I mean, he's got his first major league base hit the night before, but got off to a great start with a couple base hits. And then for an encore late in the game, boom, his first home run. And Mike Harkey, you'll see bare-handed out in the bullpen. Will go on that shelf. Great night. Great inspiration for the rest of this team.
And a curtain call to top it off. Let's look now at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Alex Colomé will get his second big league start against CC Sabathia, who is 7-5, 3.93, but he stepped it up on Sunday against the Angels, David.
That's the guy you want on the mound when you got a 5-game losing streak. You're on the road, you're in California, you're facing a tough Anaheim Angels lineup. You look at Sabathia go after it up and down. He was on a mission, hating away. Look at this kid, the glove from Stewart, just never missing the target. Sabathia came up big. The Yankees needed this game. That's the definition of a stopper.
Now, it's going to be difficult for him against this Rays team. When he was with the Indians, he beat them all the time. But with the Yankees in 20 starts, 3-10 in his last 5 starts against the Rays, not good. 0-4, 5.45. He'll try to change that this afternoon. He might need the help of Mariano Rivera. All we hear about Rivera is he throws one pitch, the cutter. But David Cohn is going to tell you that's not the case this year. Stick around for this. Very interesting. Next on Yes. But he had help from the bullpen, and the bullpen has been outstanding of late. 4 pitchers, and only David Robertson gave up a hit. No runs against any of them. Back to the booth. That's David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. Paul O'Neill will rejoin us in just a moment. You know, we keep saying this for years. It's almost like, well, you say it enough, it's the truth. Mariano gets by with just one pitch. Not so much this year.
Not so much. And everybody's heard about Mariano. Oh, yeah, he mixes in a two-seamer occasionally, but never more than this year. As you see, there's the cutter away. We're used to seeing that movement. Now, into righties, yeah, we've seen him throw two-seamers into righties. But how about lefties? Down and away, that's sinker-like. And actually getting outs with it. Look at that swing. You can tell he's catching left-handed batters way off guard. That's a different look for Mariano. His growing confidence in that two-seam fastball is really, looks like, going to get him through the rest of this year.
Kind of weird. He's reinventing himself at the age of 43. Pretty amazing. And it's an amazing Saturday afternoon in New York City. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next. the new model year lineup at JaguarUSA.com. By White House Down, in theaters June 28th. By Centerlight Healthcare. Centerlight, proud sponsor of the New York Yankees. And by Honda. Visit your Honda dealer today for great deals. Only a Honda is a Honda. The Yankees and the Rays have split the first two games. Yankees have taken the field in the big ballpark on 161st Street and River Avenue. Some fans still filing in on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Let's take a look at the Rays lineup put together by manager Joe Madden. Rays are 38 and 36. Desmond Jennings in center field leads off. Sean Rodriguez at left. Ben Zobrist at second. Evan McCory the third baseman. Will Myers DHs. Yunel Escobar at short. James Loney at first. Jose Lobaton will catch him at 8. Batting ninth and playing right field is Sam Bowl. So Jennings is ready. CC is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch swung on and grounded softly to third. Adams charges, fires, got him. One pitch, one out. We're underway.
We're underway. One pitch, one out. You got to love that as a pitcher. And you see on the season, this will be his 16th start. 103 innings, 106 hits. That's a little high for CC, but it's shaping out and rounding out. And 21 to 89 walks to strikeouts. And we're going to give you your pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And Tampa struggles. Well, he's had 20 career starts as a Yankee against the Rays. He's just won 3 of them. And protect the house. In his last 7 home starts, he's 5-1 with a 2.73 ERA, and he's a workhorse. Paulie, I like to pay attention to this one because I remember how many pitches I threw. But since 2001, he's thrown 41,645 pitches. It's the most in the majors in that span.
What you thrown, like 96, 97? That extra 1,000 you threw in that Seattle playoff game, that was 95, right?
95, yes.
Sean Rodriguez pops up to Ichiro for the second out. Why don't we check out the Yankee defense here in the first inning? Almonte, Gardner, and Ichiro left to right in the outfield. Infield, it's Adams, Nix, Cano, and Overbay. That's third to first. Chris Stewart is behind the plate. And Karsten Charles Sabathia is on the mound.
Third consecutive game, Tony. The leadoff hitter walks up. First night was a double. Other 2 nights. First pitch, 2 out. I mean, they come out of that dugout hacking. There's no setting up pitches, no doing anything other than seeing the ball and hitting it.
And there's a strike to Zobrist. Zobrist, modest 3-game hitting streak, 6 hits in his last 14 at bats. Count 1-1. David told you about the overall struggle Sabathia's had against the Rays. And in 2 starts this year, he's allowed 12 hits. Well, check that, 12 runs in 14 innings. He's 0-2 with a 7.71 ERA.
The Rays' record this year against lefty, they've had a lot of success. They had good at bats against Pettit, opening game of the series. So, it's not just CC Sabathia. This team, obviously with Longoria being their big stick from the right side, does well against left-handed pitching.
Andy Pettit will not make a start in this series, so he'll escape that. The 2-2 hit sharply to short. Nix gobbles it up across the diamond, and that will do it. Sabathia works a 1-2-3 first. It's the Rays nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Starting lineup presented by Alexis. Brett Gardner, the center fielder, will lead off. He's looking right at you. Ichiro Suzuki in right field will bat second. Batting third, playing second base, Robinson Cano. Travis Hafner DHs and cleans up. The number 5 hitter, first baseman Lyle Overbay. Zoilo Almonte, what a day yesterday. He'll be in left field batting 6th. Batting 7th, playing shortstop Jason Nix. David Adams, the third baseman, will bat 8th. And batting 9th, the catcher, Chris Stewart.
Here's the young Alex Colomé. Won his major league debut on May 30th, against the Marlins, as you see. One start, 1-0. 5 2/3 innings, and gave up 1 unearned run in that game. We're going to give you the pitcher scouting report for Alex Colomé, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And as we just said, he had a good start. He's just a second Ray to make his major league debut in a start and not allow a run. Scott Kazmir did it back in 2004, and swing and a miss. Well, he induced in that start 20 swing and misses in his major league debut. That's a rate of 21%. The major league leader this year is Yu Darvish at 15.3%. So, swing and misses, missing bats, that's what gets you to the big leagues. And his minor league success over 7 minor league seasons, he had an ERA of just a little above 3.5, but he's averaged 9.1 strikeouts per 9 innings. So he gets the ball on the ground. He's got a little sink on that heavy fastball, and he can miss some bats. So that's what the GMs are looking for.
And he's also the nephew of Jesus Colomé.
I remember him. He was a hard thrower, too, out of the bullpen down there. Had a career elsewhere, but hard thrower. You knew to tune it up when he got in the game. Sounds to me, Coney, like Colomé has found out how to really use his changeup. As hard as he throws, he's getting a lot of strikeouts with a good changeup.
All right, here is Brett Gardner. I think he's won last night 6-2. Every team in the American League East is above 500. 500 or better. Swings at the first pitch and grounds it to short. Escobar gets Gardner for the first out. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Paul, that pretty much says it all. Great day for baseball. 81 degrees.
Great day to hit. Nice humid. The ball's going to carry well.
Same type weather tomorrow for Old Timers Day, so maybe the shoulder loosens up for you.
I don't know. You better hurry. Gotta get 24 hours, right? Coney, if I go to hit, maybe you could just nick me, and I get first base and I don't have to swing the bat.
Yeah, but, we all know the story. My major league first win, Paulie comes off the bench with the Reds and takes me monster deep, dead center. So we could recreate that a little bit.
Those are all just ploys. I wasn't starting at the time, Michael. He wanted me in the lineup, so he's already won the game. He gives me a home run because he knows I'll be in the lineup next time. And then, they punch you out 3 times. And it all worked.
He thought that far ahead, did he?
Yeah, probably. That's what Whitey Ford used to say about Reggie. Reggie, you were a kind of guy that I would give a hit because I wanted you in the lineup next time we faced you.
Lined into center field. It's a base hit for Ichiro.
Ichiro's kind of turning it around. Got off to a tough start, but offensively swinging the bat a lot better. Lines that one up the middle.
This is Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer.
Let's see where that ball hit. That ball wasn't hit as hard as we thought. That ball got in on towards the label, but if you stay through the ball, you're strong enough as a major league hitter to drive that ball up the middle.
You can almost see the bat vibrate in his hands there.
Yeah.
Here's Cano. Want to know Yankees baseball? It's available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Infinity. One of the people returning for Old Timers Day tomorrow is longtime trainer Gene Monahan.
So maybe he could manipulate the shoulder.
He might have some old things that'll work. I saw Gino down there.
He knows where to stick the needle. That's for sure. He knows your spots. Cortisone shot here, right here. Cortisone.
It's worth it for an old timer's at bat, Coney? I don't know.
Yeah, it'll pay off in the golf swing, though. The 1-0. One guy you should watch out for, though, because he even warned me. There's Gino. Jeff Nelson said, I'm not Coney. I'm not grooving it to anybody. He said, I'm going to come in hard.
All right. Maybe you get a standing go if you throw a no-no, huh?
Some of those guys, they just don't change their attitude all these years. Nelly's one of the hardest guys on rookies, too, Michael.
Really?
Oh.
Now, Nelly would be the guy that would pick out the outfits, you know, when the rookies have to wear dresses or whatever, you know, that rookie hazing thing. Nelly'd be all over that. He'd be the coordinator.
I mean, it's in the history of baseball, people haze rookies. And I was reading a story today about Matt Harvey of the Mets. John Roush, who used to be with them, big guy, was just relentless on him. Just wouldn't stop. And one day he was sleeping on the couch, Harvey was, and Roush poured water on him and woke him up. Harvey said, all right, that's enough. Let's fight.
Get it over with.
And that's the last time he bothered him. As Cano works a walk, first and second, one man out. Why don't we check out the defense as Jim Hickey will go out and talk with his pitcher, Alex Colomé. You've got Rodriguez, Jennings, and Fold left to right in the outfield. Infield is Longoria, Escobar, Zobrist, and Loney third to first. Pretty good defensive infield. Lobaton behind the plate, and Colomé is on the mound. Who's the toughest veteran on the Reds when you came up, Paul?
You know, I was very fortunate to come up in Cincinnati with that veteran team, part of the Big Red Machine. So they were kind of more into, you know, teaching young kids how to win. But you know, there were times that, looking back, I guess Pete Rose probably.
Right. He was your manager too, right?
Yeah.
Here's Travis Hafner. Travis 7 for his last 64. His average is down to 217. But still a 291 hitter with runners in scoring position. A lot of that came early as Colomé deals a strike. Well, you always see it. A guy struggling, pitching coach comes out and talks, and almost invariably you see a breaking ball.
Came right out with that changeup Paulie was talking about. First pitch.
Well, Hafner's had some pitches early in this series, and he's hit everything hard, but it's all been foul. He's been hooking the ball foul. Good guy to really stay in there, hit the ball up the middle. Again, hit hard but hit foul, which, you know, tells me that you're coming around the baseball a little bit. You know, you're putting the barrel on it, but you're kind of hooking the ball, and you just can't give pitchers that ball's sinking away. That's the ball that you want to drive over the shortstop's head or right back up the middle. And you see him hit the outside of the baseball, which kind of puts that hook spin on it. It's going to keep the ball foul.
David, what's the thought process behind, all right, throw the breaking ball, or in the case, a changeup when you're struggling? Just slowing everything down?
Yeah, it makes you slow your tempo and your rhythm down. And obviously, young pitchers are going to be, any pitcher is going to be, have a tendency to rush.
Fouled straight back here.
Wow.
That's about as close as we've come.
We got action up here today. You see the life on Colomé's fastball. I mean, it just takes off. Coney, we're good up here. Michael, I've seen his hand. He's got great hands.
Great hands.
Bare-handed. I saw Mike Harkey in the locker room today. He hurt his finger yesterday on that great catch of Almonte's home run out the bullpen last night. Bare-handed catch, paid for it today.
The 0-2. Paul, I'm wondering, you come from Cincinnati to do the games. You know you're playing an old-timer state. Did you pack your old glove, or will you use somebody's glove tomorrow?
No, you use somebody's glove. To tell you the truth, it'd be hard-pressed to find a glove at home at this point.
Well, you're the one who told me you have your batting title bat under your couch.
It's not me. It's Neville. She's got some other important lamps and stuff to get out there.
The 1-2. Sounds like a broken bat. Foul ball.
been a steady diet of changeups. Really, last night as well. I mean, Hafner, you know, it's Paulie noted, you know, he's jumping a little bit, getting out in front, and obviously the Rays see that, and at some point you would think, you know, as a hitter, Paul, you go up there and just sit on that changeup. You know that they're throwing it to you. Now here's a little tough spot, 1-2. It's hard to sit on a pitch 1-2, but only been one fastball in this sequence.
Yeah, and it was pretty much thrown up and in off the plate. You know, not really even trying to throw it for a strike to show you his good fastball to get back to that changeup. That's why he doesn't use that slider as much as his changeup. You see that ball really hung. If that ball gets over the middle of the plate, it becomes a great pitch to hit. To me, that's kind of a mistake, Coney, when you go to your third best pitch, especially, you know, with runners in scoring position. Young pitcher, you got to make him go with his best stuff. That's a good changeup right there. But you know what, as a hitter, you've seen that ball 4 or 5 times in this count, and it's you know, you just start seeing it a little better. You see the good movement of that, but you see a good take by Hafner. See that circle change.
Kind of slowed up his delivery. You see Hafner not even fooled by it, just took it the whole way. A little Western Union almost, you know, when you telegraph your pitches sometimes, and young guys can, and you kind of slow up your delivery, and the hitter sees it right away. Hafner never even offered it then.
Strike 3, fastball right down the middle.
Then again, you get to a count where you really haven't seen a lot of fastballs. You're seeing those changeups, and that's what happens. You get locked up. Fastball right down the middle, little movement. But you have just seen so many breaking balls that you kind of lock yourself up as a hitter.
Right at the knees, right in the middle of the kneecap across the plate.
Here's Lyle Overbay. First and second, now 2 outs. You've got Ichiro on second and Cano at first.
You know, if I'm on the bench, I really take note of what just happened. You know, he's got a great changeup, but you know, 3-2 men on base. Is he going to be comfortable enough to throw that changeup in positions like that? And the answer was no. He went to his fastball. So in hitters' counts in big situations as a hitter now, you know you can sit on fastball if he needs to throw a strike. It's a tough one to hit there, Tony. It's all down with a little movement below the knees. It's the one you love and the hitters hate.
That Hunter Wendell stab behind home plate. Looks like he's calling the low strike.
Fastball outside, 1-1. Just underway here in the Bronx. Third game of a 4-game set. Rays won on Thursday, Yankees yesterday. Bottom of the first inning, no score, Yankees threatening. High fly ball, left field. Sean Rodriguez makes the play, and that will do it. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. In the second inning, we'll find out all the headlines in Yankee Universe with Meredith Barakovich, so stick around.
Report brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. A lot of people, 8 big names, but one of those names we saw for the first time in a long time. And let's bring in our very own Meredith Moragovitz, captain in the cage today. Meredith, what's that all about? Why is Derek here?
Well, he kind of wanted to break up the monotony of rehabbing in Tampa. He said he wanted to be around the team a little bit. So he came up here. He'll be here today and tomorrow and then head back to Tampa to continue the rehab process. But good news for Derek Jeter is the fact that he does not feel any pain in that ankle right now. And he's fielding grounders. He was out there today fielding grounders. He can move side to side now. Originally, they were just hitting him right to him and kind of doing it that way. But he's doing everything right now with the exception of running.
Evan Longoria hits one deep to center. Going back is Gardner. Leaps. See ya. A home run for Longoria. And the Rays are on the board 1-0. That's his 3rd home run of the series.
Well, again, I mean, Evan Longoria has a little bit different approach. I mean, he's right center, dead center. Used to be a dead pull hitter, but look at this. Stays inside. Ball kind of cuts back over the middle of the plate. I tell you what, when you know you get it to center field in Yankee Stadium, pretty strong. Right into the netting out there in the Monuments.
His 17th home run. Myers pops it up.
Go ahead, Meredith. You were so rudely interrupted by a guy hitting one 415 feet. Huh?
I blame it on Longoria.
All right.
Why would he do that to me? It's my time to shine, Paul. Why would he do that? But back to Derek Jeter. The only thing he's not doing right now in running, and he is running, and he's hoping that'll happen within the next couple of days. Then thereafter, that's really the biggest hurdle that he needs to cross yet. You can expect for him to get in maybe some sim games after that. Exactly when that will happen, that's to be determined, but certainly a good sign that he's here. He's doing stuff on the field, taking BP. A lot of progress for him.
George King of the New York Post, great guy, great writer, walked up to Derek in the clubhouse as that one is lined to left field. It's a base hit in front of Almonte. He cuts it off, and he'll hold Myers to a single. And he walked up to Derek and just deadpan goes, "So you're here to play an Old Timers Day?"
His first simulated game you were talking about.
It would be a good way to break him back into things, right?
But he seemed in pretty good spirits around the cage. I mean, he definitely missed it.
He's definitely missing it. He's a guy that wants to be on the field all the time. This has to be torture for him, not only to have to go through the ankle issue once, but twice now being down in Tampa, not being around the team. So you could just tell he was enjoying himself being back around the guys. And you know what? I think Joe Girardi said earlier today, just having him around means something to this team. You know, he's been here for so long. He's been the captain. Having him around has been nice.
Here's Yunel Escobar. There's a strike.
I agree with that. I mean, some things on the baseball field just seem normal. And when Derek Jeter's not part of BP, not running to shortstop, everybody, including the fans, players, know there's a difference out there. And when he gets back, you know, you'll be back to the norm of what you're accustomed to seeing with the Yankees.
Meredith, that's not all you brought to the party. What else you got?
No, well, Alex Rodriguez making progress down in Tampa. He was taking some simulated at-bats. Joe Girardi not exactly sure when he'll get in an actual sim game, but he was working out earlier today. Also, Curtis Granderson was in the clubhouse yesterday, so it seems like guys continue to make their way back here to the Bronx, even if it's temporary.
There's a double play, ground ball off the bat of Escobar, as the Rays simply don't want Meredith to talk.
Now they're just being rude, Michael. They're just being rude. So anyway, Curtis Granderson had that pin removed from his hand, and he's doing some strengthening exercises. Saw the hand specialist. The biggest thing is for him to get him to open and close his hand completely. It's a little swollen right now, so he's working on that as you see him talking with Joe Girardi yesterday. But after that, he'll go through the whole process, swinging underwater. Then he'll go to dry swings, hitting off a tee, to eventual batting practice and making his way back. So the time frame with him still sometime probably mid to late July. Also, Mark Teixeira, he's scheduled to see the doctor sometime this weekend. He has not yet began to swing, so obviously that would be the next step for him. And Francisco Cervelli is down in Tampa. He's taking some dry swings, so making a little bit of progress there as well, in addition to catching a few bullpens.
And Pineda, his next start is in Trenton, right?
Yes, I believe so. And the last time out, he went 4 innings. It looked pretty good. The Yankees pretty happy with what they've seen out of him so far, hitting anywhere from 94 to 95, topping out at that, kind of averaging 92, 93. So they're anxious to see how he does at the next level.
All right, James Loney grounds out. Meredith, thanks a lot. We'll hear more from Meredith on the postgame show. The captain is in the house as the Yankees trail 1-0. Knicks is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Here's how we started the conversation. What are some of your best memories of rookies making an impact with the Yankees through the years? And KJS Cott said Shane Spencer was the man in 1998. Biggest rookie impact I've ever seen, especially in September. That was pretty amazing.
Awesome.
I think he had 10 home runs, a couple of grand slams.
Yeah, he had a couple big home runs early in the playoffs that year, too.
Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going. One more thing about Jeter, and it kind of involves you two guys. So Bill Ballin, our producer, does a great job, works hard. He finds out that Derek's in the house, and he makes his way over to Derek's locker. All right, he stormed over and said, Derek, you know, your former teammates, David Cohn and Paul O'Neill, they're working with Michael today. We'd love to get you on the air for an inning to work on TV. And Derek goes,
That's what he did?
Yeah, he said, no, that's not happening. He said, I got stuff to do.
He's trying to get back out on the field.
It's not happening in the dugout right now. But, you know, we thought it would be fun. Bill actually thought it would be great to have Derek up here with you guys, but I guess you guys aren't as close anymore.
You know what? I don't know what to say to that, Tony, huh? Pretty much shut us down.
The 0-1, Almonte pops it up in the middle of the diamond. Colomé makes the call on the catch, aggressively made the call.
I got to feel it's Bill Ballin. If you storm up to Jerry, why would he do anything for you?
It was a good, healthy stride. I don't know if he ambled over there.
I got a feeling if you ask Coney to go down and ask Derek would be dressed in the booth. It's Bill Ballin's got no pull. That's it. That's all.
Well, here's the way I see it. I don't think he would have laughed in Coney's face when he was saying, David, I've got some work to do. I don't think I'll be able to make it up there.
We have a backup plan. We've got Gene Monahan down there.
You guys are the backup plan.
Right.
Here's Jason.
What, we got a three-man booth, huh?
We'll have special guests throughout the game tomorrow with Old Timers Day here.
Well, maybe like George King said, we could get Derek mic'd up for the Old Timers game tomorrow.
Bill, why don't you handle that tomorrow? Ask him.
You're on a roll.
How great was Bobby Mercer at doing that on Old Timers Day? God, I miss Bobby.
Jason Nix lines one to left field, a base hit. That'll go into the corner. Rodriguez plays it out there, bobbles it, and Nix is at second with a double.
Well, again, you really just can't say enough about what Nix has done since he's been able to get out there and play. He gives you good at bats, good defense. Pretty much just know what you're going to get. He's a solid little baseball player and just goes out, gives you an effort. Again, hustles around. You get a little bobble out there, cruise into second base.
It's funny, Paul, because almost to the word, that's what Joe Girardi says about Nix. He's a baseball player. I mean, if you break down his whole game, he doesn't have great skills of anything that'll jump out at you, but he knows how to play the game.
Right. Enjoys playing the game and getting a big opportunity here.
David Adams takes a strike.
Well, handling the shortstop position the way he has is no easy task, and he's got nice hands, good arm, makes all the plays.
You know as well as I do, Coney, if you're in a position as important as shortstop, if you're not ready, if you're not haven't put the work in, it'll expose you, and he's done a great job defensively. That's a good crowd last night. Good crowd again. Good weekend for baseball in New York.
Yep, it's sort of that, school's out, camps haven't started yet. You got that little period of time where it's good baseball, good crowds.
Were you guys sleepaway camp guys?
That's not a big thing in Ohio. We don't do a lot of sleepaway. It's like automatic here in New York, right?
Wasn't for me.
No?
A lot of people do.
You knew about them, though. I never heard of sleepaway camp until I played here.
How about you, David?
No, we were playing baseball during the summer. We played Little League Baseball all the way through, so no time for camps.
2-1. 3-1. Longoria's home run has given the Rays a 1-0 lead. Adams looked like a hitter when he first came up. First 11 games, 295. His last 13 games, 103. So Yankees, I guess, would take something right in the middle.
And he's actually staring at his first walk right here on 3-1 count.
Think he's taking, Cody? Yep.
So he took a 96-mile-an-hour fastball upstairs for his first walk. And Hickey again jogs out to the mound. So that's going to bring up Chris Stewart.
Talking about Colomé, only his second start. I mean, how does that meeting go? You get called up to start. You pretty much blow people away at the major league level. You get your first win. You don't even give up an earned run. They call you in the office and say, sorry, good job, but you're going back down.
Well, you know, the Rays sort of have a vaunted pitching staff in AAA. You know, the AAA farm team for the Rays is the Durham Bulls, and they have a prospect-laden rotation. Chris Archer, Alex Torres, Jake Odorizzi, and Alex Colomé is part of that, along with Mike Montgomery. So they're playing well this year too. The Durham Bulls, I think, are 47-28 coming into today, and no truth, or I don't know if Susan Sarandon's still sitting over there watching those games. But one of my favorite baseball movies, Bull Durham. The Durham Bulls.
There's a strike.
Yeah, a lot of, the baseball movies are, the comical baseball movies, they're a little corny to you if you're used to playing baseball. Bull Durham, I mean, you sat on the couch and watched that and laughed. I mean, it was fun.
What was your name in the movie, Annie?
Baseball Annie.
Yeah.
Mr. Movie. This man goes to tonight's movie night, isn't it?
Could be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Still up in the air?
Still up in the air.
And if it is, where are we going?
I think we're looking at Man of Steel.
Man of Steel.
Yeah. Here's the 0-2. Grounded and grabbed by Longoria. Goes the second one on the first. Boy, that's a nice double play started by Evan Longoria. That was an RBI single, and he turned it into a 5-4-3 double play to double up Chris Stewart and get Colomé out of a jam. We'll go into the third. 1-0 Tampa Bay. and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.tv Premium. Visit MLB.tv today. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Lincoln scoreboard 1-0 Tampa Bay. Lobaton waves at a first pitch offering from CeCe.
Talked about it last night. Every once in a while, as a hitter, you just like step back and like, what just happened with that swing? Kind of in between them, not swinging and swinging, being fooled. I don't know, but that wasn't one of his better hacks.
Grounded to third. Adams. One out.
Remember last night, Coney, it seems like every ground ball found a hole. Today, balls hit hard, but it seems to be right at people.
Must have been the full moon last night, Paulie.
Is that what it is? I know we had it on TV a lot. It's amazing when you view in with these cameras that it looks like you can almost touch that thing.
Here's Sam Full. One and 0.
You can see pinching at the corners, both Nix and Overbay, protecting against a potential bunt.
See Granderson over there working on the flexibility, and I tell you, I was talking to him today. He was in the locker room, and he had the pin pulled out, and I had a pin pulled out of my thumb one time, and it was the weirdest thing. I mean, they take the cast off, and you have this like nail sticking out, and you know, medicine. I'm not lying. They pull out a pair of vice grips, just hook it on the end of it, and just start inching the thing out, pull it out, and you're out of the office.
Does it hurt when they do it?
Well, they kind of numb it, but it's just weird to see a vice grip pulling out a nail out of your thumb or your hand, and it was in close to his index finger, but it's stiff, and it takes a while to get that, you know, the movement back, and until you can really grip a bat, he's going to have a hard time hitting.
Yankees missed that bat in the lineup. Count 3-2.
CeCe's kind of set up that ankle where he can throw that slider, and he can also kind of crossfire that fastball. He's got a good fastball today, 92 there. In the middle of the game, probably be up to 93, 94 if he needs it.
Ground ball to Cano. 2 outs. Yankees made it official. Couple of minor league transactions yesterday. They got right-handed pitcher Yoshinori Tateyama from AAA Round Rock, Texas, and they also got Brent Lillibridge from AAA Iowa. That's the Cubs affiliate, and both players are going to report to AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre to the Yankees.
How about you doing behind-the-scenes stuff and like announcing it before anybody even thought about it?
Oh no, it was on Twitter.
Is that where you?
Oh
get,
yeah.
Where you get all your info?
On Twitter, you break stuff on Twitter.
Send some stuff. You know what I'm gonna do tomorrow? I'm gonna take a picture out on the field. I'd send some pictures out. What it looks like from right field.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
For people. Yep.
That's what I'll do tomorrow.
And all of our guys that will be playing in the game, John Flaherty, David Cohn, and Paul O'Neill, they are going to be mic'd on the field. We'll have 2 cameras on the field as well. Paul's iPhone will be there as he tweets out.
Coney, did they run this by you? Or they just, hey, we're doing it?
Oh, they ran it by me, and
really?
It's on them now. Yeah. You're going to mic me up. It's on. Is there
a 7-second delay or anything?
Yeah,
no, we're live.
Fingers quivering on that delay button.
There will be no SAP button tomorrow when Coney's mic'd up. They'll take it with the mute button.
It's a classic case of be careful what you wish for, right?
Exactly. I didn't ask for it.
Here's the 3-1. Fly ball, right center. Really traveled as Gardner ran it down. And the Rays go down in order 1, 2, 3. We're going to the bottom of the third. Top of the Yankee order. Gardner will start it off. Brought to you in part by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Blimpie, America's sub shop. And by the Volkswagen Sign Then Drive event, where you can drive away for practically just your signature. The subway pulling in. If you're just getting here, you're a little bit late. Like that train, you're moving just a bit slow. So it's 1-0 Tampa Bay on the Longoria home run. The Lincoln scoreboard shows you that. And for the Yankees, it'll be the top of the order against Alex Colomé.
Paulie, you live right by that track there, boy, you fall asleep to that sound, right? Just get used to it. Kind of like Joe Pesci and My Cousin Vinny. Remember, he couldn't sleep. He had to go to
hilarious.
jail.
Yeah.
Got to have that noise. Were you that way, Michael? Couldn't sleep without a little noise in the Bronx?
You know what? I always found it pretty easy to sleep wherever I was.
You know, Michael, we talked about this one day. I grew up pretty close to train tracks where you're used to hearing the horn of the trains, the freight trains. Yeah, they're not the L train and things here, but you know, it just brings back great childhood memories. I remember the high school band playing on Thursday nights, practicing. And
you guys were that close to the field?
Yeah, pretty close. Michael, you actually heard the stadium a little bit, didn't you?
No, that was too far away. As Gardner beats it out, we'll see if the mishandle is why he got there, or whether or not he would have beaten it. We'll see.
Everything's right.
Yeah.
Except the grab.
That's such a short transfer that you kind of take your eye off the ball, and don't only blame yourself as a pitcher, huh, Coney?
Watch his eyes, kind of looking for the bag right there before he catches the ball.
We will see how they score that, but he's got a speedy Gardner at first base. I was about 12 minutes away by car, so.
Oh, I thought you were really close.
No. And it is scored an error. Is it? It's got to be an E1, so that's what we'll do, E1. Now let's see if Gardner's going now.
Well, I think this is the matchup you're going to see, you know, with Gardner leading off and Ichiro in the 2-hole. I think the Yankees probably going to roll with this and see where this takes them for a while after all the lineup shuffling over the first part of this year by Joe Girardi. And see, Ichiro's 1 for 1 on the day. But I talked to Joe the first day about that. I said, has this been the hardest year for you in terms of maneuvering all the injuries? And he said, yeah, the lineup. because every night I'm really bothered trying to find the right combination, and I think right now they're going to settle on this with Ichiro in the 2-hole and Gardner leading off.
Gardner's been one of your hotter hitters. I mean, he's getting on base. He can steal bases, and Ichiro can handle the bat. I mean, he can hit the ball to all parts of the field. He's always been good at, getting guys in from third and moving guys over. So, it's not a bad 1-2 punch, especially when they're both starting to hit really well.
Two and 0 count.
I'll tell you one thing, Coney. I don't remember as a pitcher if it did that. I mean, speed really, really bothers some pitcher. I don't know how much it bothered you, but when you get guys over there that are base stealers, it kind of takes you out of the rhythm of what you're doing at the plate.
Oh, it does. It's a distraction, and you can see already the impact of Gardner's speed, running the count to 2-0 on Ichiro. You try to speed up your delivery. You've got to do that more often. Worry about the runner. In fact, when I was playing with the Mets and the Cardinals had all that speed, Vince Coleman, Ozzie Smith, after a while I'm like, enough already. Go ahead and steal second base.
I'll try to keep you from scoring at this point, huh?
Grounded to first. Nice pick there by Loney. There's one. That's all they get.
I'll tell you what, that looked really smooth play by Loney. Any other player in the league, you probably turn 2 there, but Ichiro gets down the line too quick. Comes off the bag and just makes a good throw on the inside part of the bag, but look, perfect. But Ichiro just gets out of the box too quick. But you know what? If I'm a manager, I'm almost disappointed that Brett Gardner doesn't have an opportunity to steal pretty much every single time that he gets on first base. I mean, you just got to put pressure on the defense, and you never want to take away his wheels. That's one of his big strengths out on the field.
Cano lines one to left field. It's a base hit. Sean Rodriguez flips the ball in the third. The Yankees have runners on first and second with one out.
Boy, you really love to see this, too, because Robbie really made an adjustment. Last night he was out on his front foot. See how he stays back, lets the ball travel deep, and just hammers it to left field. I'll tell you what, you see a couple at bats like that, and it won't be long before he's raking again. And you see he was way out on his front foot early. He stays behind that ball. You'll see contact way back at home plate where he's really let the ball travel. He didn't commit to anything. Picture perfect swing with a high changeup. His balance last night, you remember, and see how he's just back on the ball. He sees it so much longer.
Here's Travis Hafner. He struck out looking. 3-2 fastball right down the middle.
Again, that's almost the approach that you would love to see Hafner, just especially against Colomé, with a sinker and a changeup. Everything pretty much going away from you. Just stay on the ball a little longer and force yourself to hit some balls to left center field. Won't be long before you can pull the ball.
That one is tapped slowly towards short, and everybody is safe. Base hit for Hafner.
I don't know if he intentionally did it, but he got it to the left side, and they play him so, poor, but he snuck one in there. He waited. Hit it hard, but he hit it in the right spot. Oh, he actually waited too long, which is sometimes a good thing. Wait to see the ball. He got jammed.
Ichiro's at third. Cano's at second, and now Hafner over at first. And that brings up Lyle Overbay.
Again, Colomé in a lot of trouble. As Madden will be very intent on watching his body language, how he pitches in these big situations. Got out of a jam early. Well, he's right back in one.
Pitches high.
Kind of like this matchup, Paulie. Overbay is one of those guys who does do exactly what you say. He's not prone to get out in front a lot. He hits the ball the other way very well. He'll stay back and kind of neutralize Colome's changeup that way a little bit.
And he just hung that slider again. That's a dangerous pitch for him. I know that I'd mess with that with a lot of people running in scoring position.
There's conversation between Girardi and Nix. Good fastball, 1-1.
See the movement of that really going away. You know, you look at the conversation. It's almost like a friendly conversation between Girardi and a player. And you just didn't in the old days. I can't imagine sitting talking to Pete Rose during a game, or even Joe Torre, other than, you know, some advice or something. But, you know, Joe Girardi really has conversation, you know, with guys a lot over on the bench.
You know, before the game too, as well. You see him; he makes sure that he gets to everybody. How you doing? What's going on? Very proactive, Paulie. That's a good point. That's the difference in Girardi.
In the old days, remember some managers, you could tell if you were hot or cold, or if you won last night by the way they acted. I mean, some nights they were mad, they wouldn't talk to you. The next day, and get that away, you really allow players to play more relaxed. And nothing worse than coming in when you're not playing well, and it's like you're getting the cold shoulder from the manager.
Joe Madden very much that way too. Very proactive, obviously. There were some managers I played for, Paulie. I go a week, 10 days, not even talking to them, other than maybe a nod, hi and bye. You know,
expect you to play well. You better that, you know, they felt like their job was on the line on how you performed, I guess.
Two.
Good fastball, 96 miles an hour.
96, but up out of the zone, and that's the thing when you're looking for that sinker, that changeup, and you see that high fastball, you're just not going to catch up to it. It kind of just explodes up in the zone.
Good job by Overbay to fight it off, even though it's probably up and out of the zone, as Paulie said.
Two balls, two strikes, bases loaded, one out. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Rays. 3-2.
A big pitch here. A lot could happen. And if you're Colomé, you're looking for that ground ball or that strikeout. If you're Overbay, you're looking for a good pitch that you can drive out in the gap.
First inning, big spot, full count. He went with the fastball. If you're Overbay, you watch that. Are you expecting fastball right here?
I think you have to. I mean, you've seen him miss with other things. You've seen him, you know, Overbay came out of the zone. I mean, I think you go to your best, and that's your sinker.
Swing and a miss.
That's why I just struck out, Tony. He threw a really, really good changeup right there. 85 miles an hour from 94.
Yeah, this is going to get a lot of hitters on a 3-2 bases loaded pitch. Looks like it's right down the middle, and that's what Overbay reads. But no. The circle change with the arm speed of a fastball. And you can see by the swing of Overbay, he swung at what he thought was a fastball.
That's a tough pitch, and it comes at a time, a big time in the game.
Here's
Colomé.
Last night's hero, Zoilo Almonte against Colomé. 1-0.
Coney, Almonte's probably going on less sleep than anybody. I mean, when you come home after your first game, hitting a home run and things like that, you're so amped up, you're so excited. Eyes don't want to shut. Wow, another good changeup.
It's not just the fact that he has a good changeup, is that he can throw for a strike as well. You know, that's the difference maker on that 3-2 pitch to Overbay. If Overbay took it, it was a strike. And right there, once again, on that pitch, it's in the strike zone. And that's how you judge your secondary pitches. Changeups, curveballs, sliders. Anybody can throw a pitch in the dirt. Can you get it over in tough spots? You get called strikes as well.
About last night, this was his third hit of the night. Stayed through it, drove it out into the bullpen. See the excitement of everybody on the bench.
He got that ball back. He got the ball signed by the whole team, and he gave it to his mom. So that's where that first home run ball went. Line drive, base hit. That'll score two. Hafner chugs to third. It's a big two-run single for Zoilo Almonte, and the Yankees lead 2-1.
Tell you what, that's a huge hit for Almonte and a big hit for the Yankees as Colomé was on his way of getting out of this inning. But again, this has been his third pitch today, and it's a slider, and it just sits there for a left-handed hitter. Did him a big break by not staying with that changeup, because it's like he threw 3 or 4 really good ones, and then he hung a slider.
So Almonte really making a difference. The 3 hits yesterday in a Yankee win, and now that 2-run single with the bases loaded and 2 outs gives them a 2-1 lead.
No, I don't know Colomé. This is the first time I've seen him pitching live, but today his slider is his 3rd best pitch, and you hate to see yourself get beat with your 3rd best pitch and you got a chance to get out of an inning.
Jason Nix grounds one to short, and that will do it. But the Yankees take the lead. That guy, 24-year-old rookie Zoilo Almonte with a bases-loaded single. #866NY quits for free help today. Since 1960, who are the only 2 pitchers to win 25 games in a season with the Yankees? I know one of them. I think I know the other. We'll find out at the bottom of the 4th. Sean Rodriguez takes inside, so CeCe gets the lead back on the Benjamin Moore scoreboard. It's 2-1 on the Almonte single over the Rays. Tap back to the mound. Sabathia Gets Rodriguez. Let's take a look at Zoilo Almonte's swing on what we love, Yes View.
My favorite part of the day. Look at this. 3D. So he stays, wakes back right off the barrel. Hanging sliders are so easy to hit, aren't they, Tony?
That's one you go back at night and you look at the videotape and you can't help it as a pitcher, Paul. You don't like to be a second guesser, but you are. And that sequence, boy, if I would have only thrown that pitch instead of this pitch,
right? Tell you what, that changeup he threw 3-2 to Overbay, he could have thrown 4 or 5 of those, and then they weren't going to get hit. Good pitches.
You saw CC come off the mound to field that ground ball and throw out Rodriguez, and our friends at the Elias Sports Bureau came up with a stat today. There's a one-hopper to Cano that really surprised me, and I showed my two partners here in the booth, and they were kind of surprised as well. And it's about CC covering first base. Now, this is not that at all. He's just a grounder back to the mound. But there are 125 Major League pitchers this year who've thrown at least 56 innings this season, including 35 other lefties. Sabathia, coming into the game with 103 innings, is the only one who doesn't have a put out in the field. That means covering first base on a ground ball to the first baseman. And last year, he had 200 innings pitched, and he only had one put out, and that was on a lineup. So in about a year and a half of baseball, he has not recorded an out at first base, which is hard to believe.
But basically, he shouldn't even participate in the PFP down in spring training, Cody. Those hours and hours you put in down there.
He's got a big delivery, and he tends to fall off towards third base, so by the time he spins around and makes up for the ground lost, it's a pretty hard time to recover.
Longoria scalds one to left center, and that's going to be a base hit. It bangs up against the wall, and Longoria has a double to go along with his home run, and you saw the numbers that he has against Sabathia.
Tell you what, and you talked about the success that the Tampa Bay they have against lefties, and Longoria is a big part of it. It's a good swing. He's taken a couple balls out to right center that were away, and he's so quick at bringing his hands in, still able to pull that ball. But there's something about good players, but when good players are hot, which Longoria looks like he is, they're just very hard to pitch to.
Yeah, he beat Sabathia to the spot. That wasn't that bad of a pitch. Sabathia trying to get inside on Longoria.
18 for 47 now with 6 home runs against Sabathia. That's 383. Will Myers takes outside.
And they're not singles either. You see that next column, 6 home runs. That's a lot of home runs off of one pitcher.
Only one other pitcher, only one other hitter has 6 home runs in the regular season against CC, and that's Alfonso Soriano. He doesn't face him all that often.
So got him early with the Yankees, huh?
And maybe that 3-month span with the Brewers.
You see this, the respect Sabathia showing the young Will Myers already with that 2-0 changeup to fall behind 3-0.
These are the big outs, Coney, and you know as well as I do as a pitcher, man on second base, scoring position, 2 outs. You save a run or you give a run, they add up big by the time you get to the 9th inning.
Sabathia well on pace for another 200 inning season this year. As Michael noted, he's got 103 already, and over the last 5 years, there's only 4 other pitchers in the big leagues that can say that, and that's Verlander, Shields, the former Ray, Matt Cain, and Mark Burley, and of course CC. So talk about a horse, 200 innings every year, just book it.
3-2.
The the Yankees bullpen when CeCe's on the mound early in the game. It looks like, you know, it's vacant. There's no reason to be ready to go early. I mean, it's just you know he's going to give you 7+. And, it helps the manager. It helps the pitching coach. You know, when you think about the next 4 days, how you're going to use the bullpen. If you've got CeCe coming up on this day, you know, your chances are he's going to go well into the game.
Myers battling. Tapped out in the center field, but right there is Gardner, and that will do it. So he comes back from down 3-0 to get the rookie Myers. And Longoria stranded at second. Since '60, who are the only two pitchers to win 25 games in a season with the Yankees? I think it's Guidry and Ford. Let's see.
Good guess.
I was going to say that's an easy one for you, Mike.
And both are scheduled to appear tomorrow at Old Timers Day.
That year that Ron Guidry had, I mean, boy, you talk about the modern era and the 10-inch mound era, I guess, you know, and then it was late 60s. They lowered the mound from 15 to 10 after that big Bob Gibson year he had. I think that's arguably as good as any year. He and, of course, Dwight Gooden's year back in 1985. Maybe the two most dominant years in modern era.
They had 3 losses that year?
25-3.
I think Doc was 20. You know, Guidry was 25-3 with a 1.74 ERA.
That's ridiculous.
How do you beat that?
Benjamin Moore scoreboard 2-1. The Yankees lead. David Adams at the plate.
Posted 9 shutouts that year. Louisiana Lightning.
And it's not like he was 5 and flying. He was going out there and finishing games. There was no advantage to hitting Guidry. If you're right-handed or left-hander, he had such a good slider. I mean, it was threw hard enough. He just bury it in on righties and sweep it away to lefties.
There's Gator.
Look at the effort he put into it. You know, how big is Gator, Michael? What, 5'10" maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
You talk about a total body move to home plate when you throw a baseball.
He used to throw batting practice right when I came over, and he still could throw. I mean, Gifted with a great arm.
That one's lined into right field, and it's caught by Fold. Want to remind everybody, you can join the Yankees as they celebrate their 27th World Championships with the 67th Old Timers Day presented by Ernst & Young. Come see your favorite Yankees legends put on the pinstripes again and take the field at Yankee Stadium. Be sure to arrive early as ceremonies begin at approximately 11:15 a.m. with the Yankees game against the Rays to follow. And the Yes coverage will begin at 11. For the younger fans that might not know this, now you come to a game, pitcher gets 2 strikes, fans start to clap to get the strikeout, and that all started with Ron Guidry in a game against the then California Angels as Chris Stewart hits a fly ball to left for the second out, and he had 18 strikeouts against the Angels, and as the strikeouts built, every time he got to 2 strikes, people started to clap, and it's something that lasts to this day all these years later. Louisiana Lightning. Back in those days when he would throw BP to you, Paul, all you players really talked about how good he still was, and I said to him, I said, you think he could still get people out in the big leagues? And he must have been, 45 then, 46. He said, absolutely. He said, I could start in the big leagues. He said, but I could only start once every 7 days. I wouldn't be able to bounce back in a 5-man rotation. He doesn't look any different when you look at him body-wise.
Not much, yeah.
The 2-1 to Gardner. 3-1.
Mel Stoudemire, the great Yankee pitcher and our pitching coach for years, Paulie, he would institute a fine in this situation. 2 out walks, nobody on. $25. The numbers have changed a little bit on the fines, but the 2 out walks, when you've got your fingers, your hands around the throat of a 1-2-3 inning and you let it off the hook, boy, those can come back to burn you. And we noted last inning, the difference between the 2 pitchers. Sabathia got the out with 2 outs. And, of course, Colomé got burned by Almonte with 2 outs and big 2 RBIs. So 2 out walks was a big pet peeve of Mel Stoudemire. Gardner now here, 3-2 count.
Time you think it's almost a lack of concentration. You get a couple quick outs and it's you forget the inning's not over. Especially with Gardner up there. I mean, a guy with speed, you give a free pass, the next thing you know, he steals second base, and you're in a run-scoring position, and you didn't need to be. I'll tell you what, Mike, I just know that's a new hat there. Have you ever seen that with the Rays?
They wear occasionally.
Yeah.
It's just a sun ray.
Used to seeing the TB on there.
And now you get a burst of sun. People call you a burst of sunshine.
No, that's been always your nickname for me.
The Yankees go down in order. We go to the 5th. The team that refuses to lose, Bob, and they have evened up their record at 36-36. They looked out of it about 3 weeks ago, but that's what a long winning streak can do now, separating top and bottom. Just 5 games in the loss column. Pretty amazing. 2-1. Yankees lead. Escobar grounds one to short. Nix guns him out. 1 pitch, 1 out. So the Blue Jays have won 9 in a row.
9 in a row, and Jose Reyes is close to coming back, joining that team as well, after kind of that high ankle sprain that he had.
Now you wonder, though, you want to upset the apple cart. I know he's a great player, but you've won 9 in a row. Does it change things if Jose Reyes comes in?
I'm taking him right now,
Yeah,
right back in my lineup.
I mean, you would almost think about that if there was, 5 games less, 7 games left in the season. Do you really want to take? You've got so many games left, and he can do so many things for that team. But it does make it much easier to make sure that he's 100% ready to go when the team's playing this well.
Why don't we take a look at the Chrysler scouting report on James Loney?
He has problems at home. I mean, it's better on the road. 355 average on the road, only 240 at home. All squared it up, line drive hitter. 29% of his balls, which is second highest in the major leagues as far as hitting line drives. And in the clutch, great numbers from the 7th inning on in pressure situations. As a player, that's one of your best stats. It's 393 in those situations.
Sad when a player has trouble at home.
Yeah.
You want to have a nice home life.
Home ballpark at home. Huh? These things don't run as smooth,
I guess. Strike 3. Loney down looking.
Now, Cody, what did you just receive there? That's impressive. Audrey just handed you something. Looks like that's not hot chocolate.
Little cappuccino.
Cappuccino, homemade Yankee Stadium
homemade.
cappuccino.
Half coffee, half hot chocolate. With a little whipped cream on top, Paul.
Made to order, I see.
Made to order just to get me through the second half of this game. Used to do that when I pitched too. I'd love to have half a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Got the Twizzlers going too.
Those are left over from Leiter, the Twizzlers.
Just another day at the ballpark for you, Conor.
I'm going to finish that point before, Michael. Who's starting shortstop for the Blue Jays today is Kawasaki. He's a popular guy. He's batting 9th, hitting .228. So you get Jose Reyes back. You put him right back in the leadoff spot. And throughout this whole streak, it's been the ex-Yankee Melky Cabrera batting leadoff for the Blue Jays. And Jose Bautista batting 2nd.
That's Paul's stash.
Hey, now wait a minute, isn't it? Yeah, I guess it is. You know what? See, my stash is full. It looks like Halloween up here. I didn't order this. It was just put in front of me. It's been there.
And you fought it. You have wanted no part of it.
I didn't want to be rude about it or anything. I'm not the big candy guy. Ice cream and chocolate will go, but I'm not a big candy guy.
The 1-2. That one is lined into left field. Zoilo Almonte makes the play, and that will do it. As the Rays go down in order, we're halfway through. Yankees lead 2-1. Now that you can catch live Yes Network Yankee games on your PCs or laptops with Time Warner Cable. Get a full season of live Yankee games on the go for just $29.99. And if you're a Time Warner Cable customer, go to yesnetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. During batting practice, a little wetting now. The Dorotskis.
Hey, there's two cheaters in that picture. One of them just left.
A Posada fan and an A-Rod fan and a Jeter preacher.
Yeah, now it's done. Very cool. Congratulations, guys. A little too long to kiss, but that's all right.
That wasn't a freeze frame that went on?
No. There's always that clock in your head during the wedding. It's just too long to kiss. You got to separate.
Yours was good.
Perfect timing, right?
Mayor Giuliani right there watching you, too.
Jesus, I had to turn away when I saw
What, for Mayor Giuliani or the kiss?
The kiss.
Ichiro dumps one into left field. Diving and making the play is Rodriguez, taking a base hit away.
Toughest play for an outfielder is that dive that's right in front of you. You can't get to either side. It's a little bit to the left there, which makes it easier, but good play. What makes this a tough play is it's a low line drive in a day game, and you know that ball is going through a lot of shirts in the stands from the angle you get to when you get that low.
Coors Light Freeze Cam has Rodriguez in midair. He will soon land and hold on to the ball.
You know, that's why he's still in the big leagues. You know, he was going to be the everyday shortstop, and it just didn't work out. So he became versatile and shows you his athleticism. Now he's pretty good outfielder, and he can play just about anywhere on the field. And
see if Robbie stays with that approach. Had a great at bat early in the game. Drove the ball the other way. Robbie just taken there. Not a bad place here with one out in a close game. Give him the green light. Get a good swing in. And again, Robbie, when he gets in trouble, it's when he goes outside the strike zone. You can tell the way he set up at the plate there, he was going to take. This is where you got to be careful. You know, you come into the game with an approach, okay, I'm going to stay back, I'm going to hit the ball to left field, but then you get in a hitter's count, and all of a sudden you get a little antsy as a hitter. You know, you think, you know, this might be it, I can jerk one. And a change up and a good one. Robbie taking all the way.
this is how you work your way back from 3-0 right here. You fire 95 miles an hour right down the middle and then throw a 3-1 changeup. Now you can go either way. Now you kind of back in the driver's seat. A lot of pitchers feel like they're in the driver's seat 3-2 as opposed to the hitter. You know, Greg Maddux was that way. He'd almost throw an automatic ball on 2-2 to get to the 3-2 changeup.
And it was an automatic 3-2 changeup every time, and you could tell yourself that, but you still in the back of your mind thought he might try to sneak one in on you.
See the young Colomé just staring off pitches, not afraid to call his own game.
He's called off both fastballs, and the slider was going to go with the changeup.
Cano works a 1-out walk.
That's what happens, you know, Paulie, when you're on the mound and you're indecisive and you're shaking up, it disrupts the rhythm. You end up choking off a changeup up and away, nowhere close.
Not really committed to it. Too many things going on. I'll tell you, some pitchers, it just drives crazy. And you see Andy Pettit, when he shakes off a lot, he kind of gets frustrated out there. You know, there's such a little relationship between pitcher and the catcher if you can stay together in that same rhythm, and it puts pressure on the hitter because everything starts happening so fast. There's no breaks.
Count 0-1. Hafner with an infield single, slow roller to shortstop in the third inning.
Been all off speed to Hafner, even though he got that slow roller base hit on a slider that was up, but he's seen a steady diet of changeups, and I'm wondering this at bat, Paulie, maybe you just go up there and just sit on that pitch.
I mean, if you're going to look change up, you look up in the zone because you don't want to, you know, roll over that one down and away that's sinking.
Grounded to first. There's one. He throws it away. Unoccupied third base, so Cano scoots over there.
A heads-up play by Cano. He saw the wild pitch, but the thing is, he didn't hesitate. He knew nobody was at third base. Just kept wheeling around. When you have that big of a shift in Longoria over here at shortstop, there's nobody at third. I said Robbie knew that going around, and as soon as that ball's off his glove, there's nobody at third base.
So that's going to be an E3, the throw by Loney, who's played a good first base. And Jim Hickey comes out again. Calm down his young right-hander. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
Talk about a turn of events. I mean, that's a double play ball. You're sitting on the bench. Now you've got one out, man, first and third. That's a big change in the throw. You talk about Loney. He's been good at first base. Just a little wild there.
Yeah, he kind of rushed that throw a little bit, and with Hafner running, he didn't really need to.
Well, the Yankees' 2 runs are unearned because of the error by Colomé. So now this error extends this inning, although you can't assume the double play. Although they would have had one. Here's Overbay.
We can assume it up here?
We could, yes. Statistically, we can. Realistically, we can.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, Paulie, when you think about it. You got Loney here in this situation playing in front of Hafner with Overbay, the left-hander, up.
Yeah.
There's no threat for Hafner to steal, so I'm a little curious as to why not play him behind and get a little deeper and cover more ground.
By playing behind, the guy can't really get that much of a bigger lead, so it does. It costs you a couple steps.
He's got a reason for it, that's for sure. I mean, the most progressive manager with regard to defensive alignments in the big leagues. He's the trendsetter, and other teams are following his lead.
Two and one.
Paulie, we've seen it all year from Overbay. You know, his overall numbers don't overwhelm, but he just seems to get good at-bats in these situations. Gives you a good professional at-bat.
Another guy that, you know, as soon as he signs, a lot of the Yankee fans are like, you know, why, where, what are we doing? And, you know, then he's shown up. He's hit some big home runs early. Played well at defense.
Colomé deals. And he walks over Bay to get to Almonte.
I'll tell you one thing. If I'm Almonte, I know one thing. I'm looking fastball changeup because I hit a slider. Pitchers have good memories. They don't forget. Especially when that came, that was a big hit. Drove in a couple runs. It's a nice little line there. Hitting 625.
You got a big 2-run single in the third. Pitch outside. Yankees have not done well with the bases loaded this year as a team. Just 12 for 55. That's a .218 batting average. They have one home run in this spot. (2-0). Some action in the Rays bullpen. Torres is warming up.
Everything's kind of flying open. Fastball away. The changeup. He's not getting in the zone.
So what do you think of Almonte's setup, Paulie? You know, in the box, he looks pretty comfortable. He kind of starts with the flat bat and then kind of leans into it. Got a little movement, but looks pretty controlled. A little bit of open stance.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's got that front hip open. He sees the ball a little bit longer. He steps in, and that's, I mean, such a good thing for a young guy coming up here. Obviously, we've talked about the hits that he got early, but you know, you see that take right there. That's a good take. And young kids get so aggressive, especially in big situations. They'll swing at anything. You got to see the ball, and you got to hit strikes.
.94-mile-an-hour fastball, taking all the way.
Coney, I mean, right here, you just got to pump fastballs in here. You just got to hope that he hits the ball at somebody. You can't walk. You can't go to your other pitches and try to fool somebody.
Three and two.
That's 95 right there in a fastball count. That just goes to show you what kind of fastball he has.
It's the difference between 90 miles an hour and 95. You can get away with that one a little more, even when you're looking for it as a hitter.
Almonte opened that hip and just got that ball right by him.
Spoils that fastball.
We've seen 3 in a row, and in my mind, Coney, you just got to keep them coming. I don't think you can change. You've got to make him put the ball in play.
Three-two. He walked him. Got to force it a run. Another ribby for Almonte as the Yankees 3 ribbies today, and they lead 3-1.
Tell you again, I mean, knowing the strike zone, it's pretty impressive. That's a pretty close pitch. Probably didn't hit the outside corner, but it's definitely a pitch that a hitter will wave at sometimes in a big situation. Well, probably, you know, 2 or 3 inches off the plate.
Indeed, and you see, watch the reaction from the young pitcher. Thought he had it.
And that will certainly not curry favor with Hunter Wendelstedt.
It's just a little extra time right here. Colomé's day is going to be over.
So Joe Madden will make the Coles bullpen. And Colomé leaves with Almonte 3 and the Rays 1. is a rookie, but boy, he's been at his craft a long time. Yankees drafted him in 2005. Before the game, I asked Joe Girardi, does it concern you that it took him this long to get up to the big leagues?
Sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult for a switch hitter because, you talk about getting so many at-bats for a player, but you got to do it for both in a sense. And, I've been around guys that have been in the big leagues at 21, 22, and I've been around guys that haven't gotten there until they're 27, 28. So it's just kind of a timing thing.
And the timing brings Almonte here now at the age of 24, and he has burst upon the scene. Thursday, his first hit, singled off the third base bag. Yesterday, 3 hits, his first home run. And today, a 2-run single in the third and a bases-loaded walk here in the fifth. So he has accounted for all 3 Yankee runs. And because of his walk, Joe Madden makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Colome's record and the runners on base, his responsibility. The 5 walks really have hurt him. 3 walks this inning. And the error didn't help either. And the new pitcher is the left-hander Alex Torres. And even with Nick's up, they didn't stay with Colome. They went to Torres.
Yeah, Torres is a good one, too. I mentioned him. He's part of that rotation in Durham, but he's up here now, and he's still looking for an ERA. 4 hits versus 24 strikeouts.
Want to know? Three to 1 Yankees.
Torres' scoreless streak of 18 1/3 innings is the second longest in club history, after Joe Borowski, former Yankee for a bit there, had 21 scoreless in 05 for the Rays.
1-1.
Kind of a starter in waiting, Paulie, but he's doing so good out of the pen that he ain't going nowhere. We're going to keep him right here, right now. But the Rays certainly have a lot of depth in their pitching organization, and they just seem to reach down and find guys right and left and develop their own talent.
What do you think that comes from? Scouting or just luck of the draw or what? I mean, some organizations just find pitching, and it's
Combination of the draft, all those years that they were losing a bunch of games, they drafted higher in the order. Some great #1 picks, David Price, Evan Longoria, but also development too. They're doing the right thing, teaching these kids coming up how to get the ball on the ground, how to throw a good changeup, work fast.
Popped up. Lobaton runs out of room. And for a team like Tampa Bay, which is never going to have a really high payroll, you can never afford pitching. So if you don't develop it, you'll never, ever be competitive. You feel that you could fill in position players. But pitching, and the way pitching is now, a lot of big-time pitchers don't even come on the market. Teams lock them up before they become free agents. And they know that in all likelihood they're going to lose David Price when he becomes a free agent. They have to have somebody step in and be just as good. So it's imperative they develop pitching. Two-two. Swing and a miss. Nick strikes out. And because of that depth of pitching, they were allowed to trade away 2 really good pitchers to get Will Myers. Because they know they have more on the farm. And once a pitcher ceases to be cost effective for them, that's when they move him out.
Kind of a familiar theme in that Knicks at bat. Fastball changeup. 93 on the last pitch to strike him out. Set that last pitch up with a couple pretty good changeups.
That change up there, that had so much movement. I mean, I had to look up the scoreboard to see if it was a breaking ball. I mean, a lot of change-ups kind of dive away, but that ball actually went down.
David Adams with a walk and a fly ball to right. This is another chance for Adams with Youkilis down until the last week of September if everything goes well. And you don't know about Alex coming back, when he's going to come back. Joe Girardi said, Adams is my third baseman against righties and lefties. Nix is my shortstop, righties and lefties. And Alberto Gonzalez is the utility infielder. So Adams now has his shot. 2-1.
And then when Derek does come back, then you go through the whole thing again about the third base situation. You know, will Nick share time over there?
Or if Alex comes back before Derek.
That's 3 in a row. 2 really good ones and then 1 in the dirt. Back of your mind as a hitter, I mean, can he continue with the changeups? You're going to try to sneak that fastball in on me. Seems like your mind always wins. He's going to try to sneak that fastball in. That's why I had good changeups. Always good to have. With the fastball away.
We've seen David Adams be very aggressive early, in his major league career, but more recently he's getting even better counts, getting a little deeper in the counts. He had his first walk of the year his last AB, and really pretty good at bat here. He's a little more patient. Got himself in a 3-2 situation here with 2 outs.
Runners go.
The changeup, good pitch.
Torres comes on and strikes out 2 with the bases loaded and 1 out. But the Yankees get 1 more run. They lead 3-1. McDonald's upcoming schedule. 1 more game, and that's tomorrow against Tampa Bay. Old Timers Day ceremonies begin at 11:15. We'll be on the air at 11. Game time's at 2:05 on Yes. Monday's an off day. Texas comes to town for 3. Then the Yankees hit the road for 3 against Baltimore, and then 4 against Minnesota. Breaking ball to full is outside 1-0 as we begin the 6th inning. 3-1 Yankees lead. All 3 runs driven in by Zoilo Almonte.
The thing about baseball, I mean, a couple weeks ago, you think Almonte thought, a couple weeks from now, I'm going to be in Yankee Stadium. I'm going to be driving in all the runs. I'm going to be hitting home runs, getting base hits. Things happen so quick in this game. I'll tell you one thing. We talked nothing about his hitting. He's looked good in the outfield. He's got a good arm. Made a good throw last night. He's got to a couple balls in the outfield.
Got a good jump earlier on the ball in front of him.
So the number 9 hitter walks to start off the 6th inning. And that is CeCe's first walk of the afternoon.
Bad time for it. Fold can run a little bit. You turn over the order.
Amazing, though, if you look at CeCe's pitch count, 60 pitches in the 6th inning. God, he could throw 12, huh?
Yeah, just one strikeout, and that was his first walk. One of the underrated facets of Sabathia's game is his ability to get ground balls. 9 of them today. Ground ball outs.
Fly ball left center. That's going to hit between Almonte and Gardner. Throw comes into second. It's a double for Jennings. And just like that, the Rays have the tying run at second base.
It's one thing to hit a double, but it's one thing to hit a double after you've just given up a walk, and all of a sudden the Rays are looking at a big inning.
Boy, credit to Jennings there. Once again, Sabathia trying to pound that inside corner, and Jennings just beat him to the spot.
I tell you, Jennings had a good series. He's shown some good things both at the plate and the field.
Yankees play the infield back for Sean Rodriguez. A ground ball will get a run in.
You set up runs by I mean, a push bunt to the right side here, to me, I mean, gets so many things accomplished. You get a guy in and you get a guy over. See where Robbie's playing so far deep, and you know Sabathia's tendency, we talked earlier, is to go to third base. This whole part, this slot right here, anytime anything in there, a push bunt, just keep it away from the first baseman, and it's, you get the guy over, you get the guy in.
Probably get a hit too.
Might.
Real soft spot right there where Paulie pointed.
Two and two. Use a strikeout right here. Yankees had an opportunity there in the 5th inning to really take a commanding lead, but Torres comes in and strikes out 2 with the bases loaded.
Again, this game's been back and forth. Both teams threatening to score runs almost every inning.
2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Big strikeout.
You know, there's some things you just can't do. And, you know, if you're Rodriguez, you just cannot go up there and end up not getting anything done in that position. It's an easy thing to say up here when you're behind the telestrator and the headphones and CeCe Sabathia is on the mound, but you've got to make something happen early in the count. Don't put yourself in a position with 2 strikes. Whether it's a bunt or inside out ground ball, you've got to get that runner over and that runner in.
Zobrist takes high, 1-0. Zobrist 2 ground balls, a ground ball to short and second. Yankees still have the infield bat. One.
Yeah, we see Sabathia go to work. You know, Sean Rodriguez has given him trouble in the past, as well as Zobrist. So you kind of sense it, that the presence of Sabathia on the mound, really feeling it right now. Really going to make every pitch he's got. He's going to mix it up. razor blade black backdoor sliders. One of them to strike out Rodriguez. He's looking to make pitches right now. And that's the way I thought when I was on the mound. When you get in a jam, make pitches. Make a pitch. Even if you miss, even if you fall behind, you're still going to make a pitch.
It's got to be hard as a pitcher to not get ahead of yourself and put your, a guy coming up, you need a strikeout, and you're already trying to throw that 2-strike pitch before you have a strike one.
Popped up. Overbay makes the play. 1 out away from getting out of it. But it's a tough out to get as Evan Longoria steps to the plate. Today he has been on CC.
Again, his approach, this is dead center field, and then earlier in the series was right center. This one he sped his hands up and with a beautiful swing behind it, head behind the ball. This ball's going to end up at left center field. And this is going to be 4 balls. Take your chances. And Myers, young hitter.
Connie, this is the move, right?
Well, yeah, certainly you could very well justify this move. Sometimes managers will let a veteran pitcher like Sabathia go ahead and pitch around a hitter like Longoria, but with first base open and a rookie on deck, however talented that rookie is, let's go ahead and take first base. But Sabathia made a real good 2-1 pitch on Zobrist to pop him up there. 94 up and in, just tied him up. Talk about making pitches. Reach back. His best fastball of the day was the last one to get Zobrist out.
Larry Rothschild will come out and talk with CC, probably just to give him a breath. It's been a long inning. A lot of tough pitches.
Just get on the same page. What are we going to start him off with here? Let's make sure we don't have to shake off, go through sequence of signs here. Make sure that you guys know what you want to do. Remember what happened previously in these at-bats. A good catcher could really help you out there, Paulie. That was Joe Girardi. Was so good. He had such good recall. He could remember exactly almost every pitch that you got a hitter out on in the 3rd and 4th time through the order.
So do you stick with that, or you kind of make an adjustment? I mean, because hitters do remember how, what got them out too.
Yeah, both. Guessing game back and forth.
Right.
Count 0-1 to Myers.
Myers a little over aggressive there, chasing the fastball up and out.
Bases loaded in a huge situation in the game. What a break when a guy swings at a pitch. And all of a sudden you're 1-1. Could be 2-0 and really be in trouble. But again, CC's made his best pitches of the game in this inning, like you said, Coney. And there's another one. Now he's set him up. A lot of pressure on Myers now just to put the bat on the ball.
It's just your concentration level goes up a little bit for the good pitchers. You can see that right on the black at 93. To jump up 1 and 2 here. Sabathia's been able to throw that backdoor slider very well to try to get hitters out.
The 1-2. Driven out into right center. A long run for Gardner.
Knocked it out.
And it's a home run. A grand slam for the rookie Myers. Just eluding the leaping try of Brett Gardner. And all of a sudden the Rays take a 5-3 lead.
Well, I think that Gardner actually knocked this ball out of the park. He made the play on it. And CC Sabathia decided to try to blow him away and went with a fastball away. Myers, we talked about quick bat, kind of came back over the middle of the plate, knows it's got a chance. Gardner gets up. Hits the top of it. I don't know if it ricocheted off his glove, but it looked like it hit the top of the fence and bounced out.
That's a first big league home run for Will Myers, and this is how close it was to being the 3rd out. Wow.
Talk about a game of inches, huh, Coney?
Boy, it is. That is as close as it gets, and give Will Myers credit for hanging in there on the tough Sabathia. And Sabathia probably didn't get that pitch where he wanted to, but Myers hit it well.
I almost said before that pitch, I bet he goes breaking ball or change up, young hitter. He went to the fastball, and Myers squared it up, hit it well.
Give him credit.
That close from getting out of it. CC watching, hoping, and can't believe it. Fly ball, right field. Ichiro is there, and that will do it, but the damage has been done. Will Myers was issued a challenge. They walked Longoria in front of him. And this was the result as he hits one just off the glove of Gardner for a grand slam.
Sequence, he gets a little help on the first fastball, and then he misses down. We're 1-1. Then he threads the needle on the outside corner, and what's the choice? Try to do it again. Not quite as good a pitch. Watching. Oh, no. Just a punch in the gut. Does he have it? Does he not? Top of the wall. The difference between out of the inning and a grand salami, about 2 inches.
So when the Yankees had the bases loaded, with 1 out in the 5th, they end up striking out twice and not getting any more runs. So now it's 5-3 as Chris Stewart leads off. And now Alex Torres is the pitcher of record on the winning side for the Blue Jays. Not the Blue Jays, the Tampa Bay Rays. Blue Jays lead 2-1 in the 7th against Baltimore. 5-3, 5-5-2 Tampa Bay, 3-5-0 for the Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, what a big spot for young Will Myers. That's a memory of a lifetime.
And it's really hard to second guess the move of walking Longoria. Longoria's their best player, and he has a home run and a double against you. That was the move to make. But I think when CC goes over that inning, he's going to beat himself up on the walk with Full, number 9 batter, to start off the inning.
Yeah, he started the trouble, but he's also 1 pitch from getting out of it as well. And he really made a lot of pitches that inning. The worst one was probably the last one. And you got to give Myers credit. It wasn't if it was a hanger or anything. It was just Sabathia was trying to double up on the outside corner, got a little more of the plate than he wanted, and Myers put a nice swing on that ball.
Stewart strikes out. Let's look at Myers' swing on Yesview.
Looks a lot like Longoria. We went through that, but you see, kind of reached away, but look how level his bat stays through the zone, and he just absolutely whips his hands. Not a lot of body in that swing. Still, enough bat speed to drive that just off the top of the wall. I'll tell you one thing, man. Hitting grand slams are a thrill to anybody, but for your first major league home run, wow.
In this ballpark against that pitcher.
Yeah.
Myers 2 hits today and now has a modest 5-game hitting streak. A team that struggles to score runs, they waited until mid-June to call him up because of Super 2 status and arbitration eligibility. And they tried to tread water till he got here. He did a good job down at AAA, and here he is, and his talent translating to the big leagues. Now, because the Yankees have trouble scoring runs, when their opponents score 5 runs or more, it usually does not bode well. The Yankees are just 3-21 when the opponent scores 5 or more.
That 5 seems to be the magic number. Were they 26-0 or something when they scored 5 runs? The Yankees?
22-0.
Yeah. And then when they give up 5 runs, they're 3-21. So that seems to be the magic number. Something's going to have to give today if the Yankees are going to come back and win this one. And, you know, this is one of those games where, you know, you battle back and forth, but if it gets close or tied, then, you know, you feel good if you're part of the Yankees, because the Rays bullpen has not been as strong as it has been in the past.
Still a lot of time. Got your leadoff guy up here with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th.
Gardner's 0 for 3, reads on an E1 in the 3rd.
Torres right over the top, but he kind of jumps at you, which helps kind of hide that changeup, but he throws hard enough where you really can't sit on it.
It's bunched up in the American League East, and here's how the Yankees have played against the East. They caught the Blue Jays at the right time. Blue Jays slow out of the gate. Yankees 8-1 against them. Rays 4-4, 3-3 O's, 2-4, so pretty even. Overall 17-12 against the East. That one's popped up. Longoria makes the play for the 2nd out.
Yeah, the Yankees have really made hay against 2 teams, Paulie. You saw that record against the Blue Jays. Also Cleveland, too. They've kind of beat up on Cleveland this year. Sometimes it works out that way. I remember the 86 Mets that won the World Series. They just owned the Pirates that year. I think they won 15 out of 16 times. One of those kind of runs, Paulie.
I know one thing. You owned us, too, in Cincinnati. Every time we came in, figure out a way to win.
Ground ball to Zobrist. Gets Ichiro, and the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We played 6 here at the stadium. It's Tampa Bay 5 and New York 3. Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Chris Archer, one of their good young pitching prospects, will get the start for the Rays. And Ivan Nova's coming up. And right now it's just for this one start because of the doubleheader on Wednesday, 2-1, 5.16. And it's Old Timers Day as well. Our coverage for Old Timers Day begins at 11 a.m. on Yes. And the regular game it'll be like the old days. It's going to start at 2. James Loney leads off against Sabathia. Line drive, a base hit to right field. So Loney, first pitch hitting, lines a single to right field. Joel Peralta warms up for the Rays. Cadillac scoreboard has Tampa Bay up 5-3.
And Sabathia had that long inning last inning, and then bang, first pitch, you're right back on the stretch. So he's got to regroup, try to limit the damage right there to give his team a chance to come back after relinquishing the lead. I mentioned last inning, Michael, we talked about the record that the Yankees have against the Blue Jays, 8-1. Well, they're 6-1 against Cleveland, so they're 14-2 against two teams. A lot of people thought this year would be the year where you'd look at those sorts of things because of Houston switching leagues, and we thought Houston was going to lose 100 games, maybe even more. Well, they've come on. I don't think it's going to be Houston anymore. 6-4 in their last 10, and actually over the last month or so, they've been playing pretty well. In fact, the Yankees are 10-3 versus the Central Division this year. So if you're looking at records and swings and, Blue Jays in last place, tight division, and Yankees, there's a couple of teams that have really put them in a good way.
Ground ball to third. Adams backhands, fires the second one on to first. It's a double play. Nice start of the double play by David Adams, taking an extra base hit away from Lobaton.
Okay, we've talked about the defense on the left side of the field. Adams comes up, makes a good throw, and does anybody turn the double play better than Robbie with his arm strength? Makes it look easy. Funny not to watch. Looking back at last inning, and Longoria is having a super year. I mean, offensively, and against right-handed pitching, Loney's good enough. You've got some lefties to give him protection, and if you can get Myers, where he's kind of that specialist against lefties, that's what the Rays are. You balance your lineup so you have to pitch to Longoria. Could be a huge thing.
Folt started that 4-run inning with a leadoff walk. The number 9 batter hitting 178.
Yeah, that was the real portent of things to come in that inning.
Chopped over the mound, grabbed there by Nix, gets pulled, and that will do it. No runs to hit, no errors, and because of the double play, nobody left on base. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Rays lead the Yankees 5-3, but we'll stay where we are and honor America here in the Bronx.
Please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To the
And now, ladies and
at Yankee Stadium, we take a look at the Nissan game summary. Tampa Bay leads 5-3. Longoria 2 for 2, a double and a solo home run. Myers hits a grand slam, his first career home run, and that's the 4 runs there in the 6th inning. And Zoilo Almonte, another big day, 1 for 2 with 3 ribbies, so he has driven in all 3 Yankee runs. So Alex Torres pitched so well. He pitched to 5 batters, struck out 3 of them, retired them all. But now they're going to go to Joel Peralta, his 39th game, to face Cano, Hafner, and Overbay in the middle of the order. Certainly sets himself up to be a second guess, especially the way Alex Torres was pitching. But that's the beauty for Joe Maddon. He doesn't care. He's in Tampa Bay, and he could do things a little bit weird, and nobody's going to question him because he's had such great success. Cano, in his career, 1 for 7 against Peralta. There's Joe Maddon. Cadillac scoreboard 5-3 Tampa Bay. Count 1-0. Along with David Cohn and Paul O'Neill and Meredith Morakovitz, I'm Michael Kay, and we thank you for joining us on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Thank you for watching. Yes, bottom of the 7th, Rays 5, Yankees 3.
Good curveball there. Peralta's a few guys out there. You see the ERA at 2.43. He's done a good job out of that bullpen. One of those guys that averages over a strikeout an inning. If you're a hitter, it either means he can throw it by you or he's got a good out pitch, being a curveball or a split fingered something. You wanted to get deep in counts, guys like this.
Joel Peralta has been a nice pitcher for the Rays. Holy, we got an O'Neill sighting.
Maybe it's my nephew before he's playing tonight.
This guy's been a real leader for the Rays. I mean, one of the leaders out there. Really takes the young guys under his wing. Really a good teammate.
Three and one.
He's also a horse. leading the AL with 39 appearances. So remember Everyday Eddie? Everyday Eddie Gordardo?
Yeah. That was part of his everyday. They brought him in to face me. He'd get me out, but then Bernie would hit a home run. So we were all right.
This is the Rays version, because he can pitch just about every day.
You know, I was on the board the other night. Was really, really surprising. Boone Logan was the first lefty bullpen guy to ever throw 80 games in a season. Most ever. And that surprised me, because it seems to me when I look back that like Mike Stanton threw every day during those years. But that's a lot of games. 80 games, you figure you're probably up for 90 or 95 and don't get in a few. So. Not everybody can do that, Tony, huh?
No, not at all. I mean, this guy's had about 185 appearances since 2011. That's the most in the big leagues.
Cano pops one up. Long run for Rodriguez. But he runs out of room a couple of rows back.
You think about it, I mean, what makes the difference of a guy that can come out of the pen day after day after day and a starter who doesn't have the ability to do that but can go out and throw 7, 8, 9 innings in a day? I mean, is it mechanics? Is it the delivery? Or just the type of pitcher you are?
A little bit of everything. I mean, you know, you got to be a horse. You got to have the guts and the mentality to be able to do that. You got to have the conditioning, but his style of pitching too. Another one of those kind of fastball changeup guys. And knows how to pitch.
Must know how to pitch with sometimes without a lot of stuff. I mean, because if you're going to make 70, 80 appearances, there's going to be a lot of those games where you don't have much.
Yeah, you're flat, but you figure out a way to make a pitch. It's a great point, Paul. I mean, some days it's a changeup, some days it's a slider. On those flat days, you know you're not going to blow anybody away with your fastball.
And he walks them to start off the 7th inning. To vote for the Chevy part of the game, visit votechevy.com. Results will be revealed in the postgame show. So Peralta makes a mistake of walking the leadoff batter, and that's going to bring up Hafner.
We can't vote yet, Michael, because if the Yankees come back to win this game, that hero's still out there.
I could not agree with you more. One of the rare times that I'm right on board with it. We just want to give the address so they're ready to vote when it happens. Hafner 1 for 3 with an infield single. Shift is on. Most of the left side open. Pitching him inside. Count 1-0. Hafner 5 at bats against Peralta without a hit. Fly ball shallow left. Rodriguez comes on to make the play for the first out.
Again, Hafner, you can just tell he's not there. This ball ends up dead center of the plate. Everything's open around the ball. Those are pitches that he can handle, pitches he can hit. That's just a hanging breaking ball. You don't get a lot of them, but boy, if you're not swinging well, this is see come around the ball, hit it off the end of the bat. Got away with one there, Coney.
Boy, that's tailor-made launch mode in this ballpark.
It's hard to figure out what's happening with Hafner because he's hitting 217, but he's a 275 lifetime hitter. He's really been in a very lengthy slump. Here's Overbay.
Sometimes you see, you know, some big sluggers come into Yankee Stadium their first go round and almost get porchitis. You know, you can't help. It's almost in Fenway Park. They used to talk about the heartbeat of the Green Monster. Well, there's a little heartbeat over here too with the porch, and it's calling your name if you're a left-handed hitter.
I'll tell you what, you do. You have to fight that. You have to step out and realize, you know, what type of hitter you are, what you want to do, and you know, just to pull the ball doesn't do you any good. To stay back and drive the ball to right field, completely different swing. think that this ballpark, I don't think you have to be pull conscious as a lefty because the gap plays so short in right center field here. And you don't have to hook the ball down the line like you did in the old stadium.
Left-handed hitter. I think it was Dan Quisenberry, the late great reliever for the Royals, coined that phrase, the heartbeat, the thumping of the green monster in Fenway.
I'll tell you, I used to love to go to Fenway. I always thought it was a great way to really work on your hitting because, I mean, you want to drive the ball to left field. As a left-handed hitter, you stay back, you stay through. You know you could reach it. Actually easier to hit the ball the other way than to try to hook the ball. Michael, you're all over these. We just got our giveaway glasses up here.
Very nice. One, two. 2-2.
Talking about Toronto last night, they went back out on top today, trying to keep that winning streak together. Would there be 10 in a row today if they win?
Yeah, they're up 4-2 now over Baltimore. That one's lined into right center field. It is a base hit. Fold cuts it off in the gap. Overbase going for two. He will make it. Cano stops at third. Second and third with one man out for the Yankees. And who's coming up? Zoilo Almonte.
Fold makes a good play by keeping this ball going to the wall. He cuts it off and he keeps Robbie from scoring. Overbay does a good job. You see this ball sink away, but he stays on it and he stays through it. So he drives it to right center field, and you see this ball's cut off. That ball gets by him. Robbie Cano scores easily.
Well, this is why Sam Folds in the game. Will Myers hit his first home run, the grand slam, and immediately took a seat so Fold could play defense, and he did save a run. Oh, my bad. Bob Myers is DHing today. But they have done that in the past, you know, sort of have Fold around to sort of come in for late defense.
Well, the fact that they would actually DH a kid like Myers tells you what they think of Fold in the outfield. So the infield is back. Almonte could pick up another ribby. And he's hitting a very respectable 625. 3 RBIs today.
That's why I like working up here. You know, anytime you make a mistake, Michael just cleans it right up for you. We move right on.
He jumps out of the chair when I say something wrong.
Hanging slider. It's like I'm on the mound. Give me another ball. I'm all right. Made a mistake.
Give me another ball. I got one here if you need it, Cody. Tell you one thing, though, he's got a lot of facts up in that head. Every time I need a question answered, I just throw it out there because I know he's going to throw it at me. You got your answers up there.
Hickey will come out and talk with Peralta. All right, you've had 3 days now of watching Almonte. Is there a hole that you see, Paul?
I think the biggest thing you see, even in big at-bats, is he's got control of the strike zone at this point. I mean, he's swinging at strikes. You know, he's hit the ball the other way. He's driven a home run to right center field. And he stays through the ball. He doesn't try to do too much with it. We were just talking about Hafner, how he's trying to hook on the ball. That's kind of the same pitch, and you see him stay through it and drive it up the middle. So right now, he's swinging at strikes, and he's not trying to force the issue. He's hitting the ball where it's pitched, and that's it's a good thing to see from a young hitter.
And he showed some of that patience in the 5th inning, walking with the bases loaded, not being too anxious. Again, he's a rookie, but he's not a baby. He's 24 years old and has spent 7 full years in the minor leagues to get here. So a lot of at-bats down there. Switch hitter, batting from the left side. First base is open, 2-0 count. Well, you know, he is not jumping out of his shoes up there.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows he has patience and he's comfortable. And it's, you know, in a young hitter, you see so many times these situations, you see him, you know, grabbing the bat tighter and moving and nervous, and it's just, you just don't see that right now. It's so far so good for Almonte.
And Peralta, the veteran, 37-year-old reliever, is just not going to give in to the young hot hitter. 3 straight changeups.
And he walked him to load the bases.
I guess you're kind of setting up a double play situation, but boy, a 3-0 breaking ball, that's
the old unintentional intentional walk.
That's a lot of respect for a kid that's been in the big leagues for 4 days. Here's Jason Nix now, and here comes Madden as he's going to go to the bullpen. So he takes out Torres, who was so effective, brings in Peralta, who has given up 2 walks and a double, and another reliever coming in. In part by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. It's kind of weird, guys. This is the second time with Nix at the plate he's gone to a left-hander. So he must feel that Nix is a little less comfortable against lefties than he is against righties, which is odd as Nix is a right-handed batter. Jake McGee now comes on. The other time it was Alex Torres, and he struck out Nix.
Again, you see strikeouts 37 to 28 innings. So McGee the other night, a hard thrower for a lefty out of the pen.
The only thing I can think of there, Michael, is that Joe Madden just didn't like what he was seeing out of Joel Peralta, and Peralta gets used a lot. He's got, you know, he's leading the league in appearances, and sometimes you see something and say maybe he just doesn't have it today. He looks a little tired. Let's go with a hard throwing lefty.
And it's weird because you look at the stats, almost 50 points better than he does right-handers. But this is the second time in this game. He took out Colomé to bring in Torres to face Nix, and now he's taking out Peralta to bring in McGee. Let's see if it works out for them. Nix this year is 0 for 7 with the bases loaded. Yankees down by 2, 5-3, bottom of the 7th inning. Jumps on the first pitch and fouls it back.
You talk about McGee being a hard thrower. Nick's got a good pitch. He's like to hit early in the count with men in scoring position. You don't want to give that pitcher a chance to make his best pitch and get an easy out. Good pitch to hit. Fastball right there. Just fouled it off.
long run for Loney. He runs out of room. You know, we mentioned this yesterday where this Yankee lineup is put together. It's got a National League-esque feel to it. You know, you're going to get into some trouble at the top of the lineup. At the bottom, there's some landing spots for you that you might be able to get out of James. David Adams is on deck. Blue Jays won that game 4-2. So they've taken their first 2 against Baltimore, 10 in a row. So they're now over 500.
Been a long road back. They dug a big hole, but it just goes to show you, you know, you get hot, good things happen.
Right on that pitch, but fouled it straight back, 97 miles an hour. Bautista hit a 2-run home run to break a 2-2 tie in that game.
Well, ain't no messing around with McGee. He's been that way since he's been a Ray. Big, hard-throwing lefty. He's not afraid to challenge hitters, as he has Nix here.
Foul ball. Just missed what could have been a bases-clearing double. That's Greg Gibson. Let's see how close.
Emphatic call from Greg Gibson. That's what you call selling a call right there.
Yeah.
Leaving no doubt.
That's your time to shine right there as a umpire down the line. You don't get too many calls, but when you get one, you might as well put your all in there.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out at 97 miles an hour. Big out for the Rays.
Up and away. Nick's protecting. Not sure. Trying to foul that pitch off. Ends up chasing.
He's stuck with it. 4 fastballs.
All right, big opportunity for the rookie David Adams.
If you look at that at bat, the one pitch you looked was strike 1. It was a fastball that had a lot of the plate. And again, as a hitter, you foul it off. You give a pitcher like this an opportunity to make good pitches after that. Tough pitch right there. That ball's right, that borderline pitch at 97.
Well, it's kind of been a day of 2-out hits. A lot of the damage today has come with 2 outs. Will Myers grand slam. Almonte's 2 RBI hit. Been trouble on both sides getting that 3rd out.
1-1.
You see McGee, big guy, big lefty, but I mean, he almost like aimed that ball, and it still was 95. Ball just explodes out of his hand.
Tommy Lasorda, the great Dodger manager, had a theory about pitchers and hard throwers. He liked guys with big backs. You know, the larger the back you had, big, broad backs. He really believed in that.
That's like
McGee's got one. Looked like he still got the coat hanger in his jersey. I mean, you talk how big his back is.
The sort of sounds like he's judging cattle out there. This is a big boy, big country boy. He must be able to throw hard.
Big, broad shoulders.
So if Tommy was scouting, he might not have signed Ron Guidry.
Exactly.
He didn't want any part of him, right?
Wasn't his prototype.
Well, that's why you see the score right there. 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position, and it's been bases loaded at times too. It hasn't been just a guy on 3rd or a guy on 2nd. Wow, that's just, I mean, you can tell by the sound of the glove. That's hard. That's 97. Get past that magic like 95, then you're something special. That just missed. Wow. Even on replay, that was hard, Coney.
It was. Any play, slow motion, anything.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2. So that's going to start the merry-go-round.
He's gone to all fastballs, and you almost think that, you know, as hard as he throws that curveball, that you want to stay away from it. You don't want one in the dirt. You've been able to get a strikeout with all fastballs.
Another good at bat from Adams, who's definitely showing a little more patience at the plate. Nothing else to look for but dead red right here.
I agree. You got to know that you're getting a fastball here. Get it started a little early. Don't pull off. Try to drive it right back at him.
They walked him, and that'll force in a run. The second walk of Adams' big league career, both of them coming today. He picks up an RBI there, and now the Rays lead 5-4.
Most of his fastballs have been that good four-seam variety. It looks like he kind of threw that one and held on to it, and it kind of tailed off the plate. The relief for Adams once you get to first base.
Now Joe Girardi's going to go to his bench, and he is going to send up Vernon Wells to pinch hit for Chris Stewart. So he's hoping that Wells could run into a fastball here. Wells has been in a tremendous slump, and for the last 2 games he's been nudged out of the lineup by the rookie Zoilo Almonte. So Wells pinch hitting for Stewart. Chris was 0 for 3 today.
It's a good spot for Wells. Good matchup. Vernon Wells still lightning quick inner half on fastballs. Great fastball hitter. He's had trouble off speed and pitches away during his recent slump.
0 for his last 11, 9 for his last 87. Right down the middle with a fastball strike.
It's a thing. Everyday players, it's tough to come off that bench and just be ready to hit. You're not used to these pinch hit situations.
Late on that one, 0-2.
I'll tell you, Tony, we talk so much about, you know, movement, and you get the ball by people with movement or off speed. McGee gets the ball by people by just throwing it by him. I mean, this is high 90s, straight fastball, just flat out throwing it by people.
.90-80 dialed it up to.
It's a big thing in Cincinnati where, you know, even the news picks it up when Aroldis Chapman gets in the game, because, you know, he averages about 98, can go up to he threw 105 last year. I don't know what kind of gun they had going, but he's settled in to be in the closer with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and a 90-mile-an-hour slider. What's the game coming to, Coney, when you throw 105? Huh?
Bases loaded, 0-2 count on the pinch hitter Wells. 1-2.
Pretty smart pitch if you think about it, Coney. If you're going to throw all fastballs, you at least got to change the eye level or change something.
Up and down and away. He's did a pretty good job of keeping it at least middle away from Vernon Wells so far. And we've seen him just miss off the plate too. So he's got that outside port of the plate locked in pretty well, and then up the ladder. He's yet to come in though on any of these right-handed hitters.
One-two. Driven out into right center field. That ball is going to be in there and bounce up against the wall. That'll clear the bases. Looks like they're going to send Wells back to second, say that a fan touched the ball, so it's going to be a double. A bad break for the Yankees, because that means that they'll have to send Adams back to third. The umpires will confirm, and they'll talk things over.
This is a big call right here, because, I mean, it dictates whether the Yankees get that run or not.
All right, they're going to send Wells back to second.
This is hard for Joe Girardi to really argue, because, you know, from the manager's standpoint, can you really see out there what happened? You're so excited you see your guy drive one out. We'll see it here on Yes, though, and I think he did. Went off the glove of a fan.
Now, the umpires could use their judgment here, and it looks like they're going to. They're going to allow the third run to score.
That's exactly right, Michael. That's why Madden's out there, and this is the judgment. It's clearly a ground rule double. The question is, where was the last base runner when that happened? And in the judgment of the umpire, he would have scored. And that's why Madden is not going to accept it right now.
Now, in that replay, if it doesn't touch his glove, it's a ground rule double. He has to go back to third base. So you really have to know if this ball touches the fan's glove or not.
Well, the ball definitely touches the fan's glove. It goes into the glove and then drops out. So they're going to allow Adams to score from first base. And what a big hit for Vernon Wells. Check this out. You'll see the fan's glove right there. It goes in the glove. Right now it's in the glove, and then it will drop out. So that turns it into a judgment call by the umpire that if the fan didn't touch it, would it have been a ball that would have stayed in play? I'll tell you what, watching that, it looks like if the fan's glove wasn't there, it would have bounced into the stands. Yankees caught a break.
Yeah, absolutely. And if that ball stays in the fan's glove,
that's another good point.
Same call.
It's a great point, because I would think that would just be a clean double, ground rule double. That's not interference, because it looks like it bounced into the fan's glove. Well, our argument is over with Madden. It's explained to him, and the Yankees have a 7-5 lead as Girardi pushes the right button, sending up a terribly slumping Vernon Wells, who gets a bases clearing pinch hit double against a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
The other way, too.
That's a huge pinch hit. And you talked about McGee staying away with everything. He's had a time to sit back and watch Almonte kind of get hot, and sometimes that just is enough drive internally to want to go out and do something. Big pinch hit for Vernon Wells.
Now, whenever anybody gets a double because the ball bounces into the stands or is grabbed by a fan, it's automatically called a ground rule double. This is not a ground rule double. That's an interference double. If it was a ground rule double, it would have bounced in and the runner would be at third base. But since it's interference, that allows the umpires to judge it, and they judge that Adams would have scored. That's why don't score at a ground rule double, score at fan interference. 2-1.
Agree, Michael. They caught a good break. First of all, that the ball went off the wall. Second, that the Yankee fan didn't have very good hands out there. He didn't snag that ball, because I think if he catches that ball, they'll send the runner back.
Well, even if they sent the runner back, Yankees would still have the lead. They'd be up 6-5.
Well, it was the right judgment in terms of the last part where Adams was on the base paths, because he was way around second. He easily would have scored. So the judgment on the position of the base runner was correct.
Really, the only thing that the umpires had to judge was whether or not that ball would have bounced into the seats if not for the fan's glove. And they judged that it would not have. You judge.
Hard to say, because it hit the wall first before it hit the fan's glove.
Yeah, does that hop straight up, or does it kind of ricochet into the stand?
Swing and a miss. Gardner strikes out, but the Yankees have a big inning. 4 runs. The big blow, a pinch hit. Bases clearing, fan interference double by Vernon Wells. Couldn't hold on, and the Yankees say thank you. Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry are back in our Yes Studios to break down this matchup with the Rays. Plus, Meredith Marakovitz gets some players' reaction from the clubhouse. You'll hear from Joe Girardi as well. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. Well, we told you how the Yankees have fared when the opponent scores 5 runs or more. They're 3-21. They're trying to change that. And Vernon Wells, his name circled on the lineup card, certainly did the damage there. Calculated move by Girardi. He has trouble with breaking balls, and he knew there was a guy on the mound that was going to throw fastballs, and the Hyundai scoreboard tells you what happened. He cleared the bases with a double, 7-5. The Yankees lead. So a big move by Girardi, and it pays off. And I'll have a new battery out there. David Robertson will take over for CC Sabathia, and he'll be throwing to Austin Romine. Remember, Stewart is the one who got pinch hit for. Those are the numbers for David Robertson.
I told you, Michael, something was going to give today. The Yankees have given up 5 runs, but they've come back to get the lead. Now they're where they want to be. Robertson and Mariano in the bullpen. They're 23-0 when they score more than 5. But they had a horrible record when they've given up 5. So today's the big day, man.
So Robertson will deal with the top of the lineup. Jennings, Rodriguez, and Zobrist. Once again, the thing that killed the Rays in that inning, and it's hurt them a lot today, the base on balls. They had 3 walks in that inning. Walked David Adams with the bases loaded to make it 5-4, and then Vernon Wells with the double to clear the bases.
Yeah, that's a good point, Michael, because, you know, as a fan standpoint, and even, you know, you look down at the huge hit by Vernon Wells, but how was it set up, you know, and you can't give that many free passes out without giving up something.
Popped up, Overbay, makes the play, 1 away. Luke Scott is going to pinch hit for Sean Rodriguez. Eight walks the Yankees have worked against Tampa Bay pitching today. And that's one thing they preach not to do. They want you to throw strikes and change speeds. And they got the changing speed down for the most part, but not throwing strikes today. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Their season high, they allowed 10 walks, the Rays did, against Toronto, but that was back in April 26th.
You kind of looking at the Rays schedule, Michael, this year, and I mentioned before the Yankees are 14-2 against 2 teams, Toronto and Cleveland. The Rays so far this year, they're just 17-22 versus the Eastern Division, the American League East. Which is obviously very important in your own division. But they have a lot of work to do out west. They've only played 6 games against the Western Division. They're 4-2, but they've really made hay in interleague play. They're 9-1 against National League teams. The kind of interesting point about the Rays and sort of the scheduling. They've got some West Coast swings coming up. They got to make up some games on the West Coast.
Say, we talked last night. Those West Coast trips can make or break your seasons at times. But if you're the Rays, you really just want to stay in the mix because you got David Price coming back at some point, hopefully Cobb coming back to really bolster your pitching. Myers will be seasoned more in a month.
Swing and a miss, got him on the breaking ball.
Robertson does such a good job of getting these strikeout counts and making that good pitch, that put-away pitch. Good breaking ball. So you missed that. If you look from the side view, you missed that pitch twice. You missed on the plane of the pitch because it broke, and you also missed because you were out in front of it.
Zobrist fouls it back.
Yeah, Luke Scott had one thing in his mind. He heard that porch heartbeat that I talked about earlier. He's just trying to think second deck here.
See the downward movement of that.
Was that the Second Avenue manhole there, David?
Yeah, that's pretty close. There's a little more of an arc in Robertson's curveball than Kelly's slider. Kelly's slider kind of comes in and has less downward break, but it's quick and later. Robertson more of a true curveball. A hard curveball, really.
It's funny, as a hitter, when you pick up that hard curveball out of their hand, it almost looks like the ball is launched, like it's going to be a wild pitch over their head, and all of a sudden you start to see the break, and that's why you see guys' knees kind of buckle, because it just, you follow the pitch, and it's a weird view.
Zobrist could not hold up on the fastball. That's an impressive 8th inning for David Robertson as he retires the first 3 batters in the Rays order in order. We're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. Ichiro, Cano, and Hafner coming up. Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2013 models. By Benjamin Moore for everything that matters. And by the Experience Buick Lease. It's a new lease on luxury. Robinson Cano's helmet resting on second base. And a crowd of 46,013 have made their way to the Bronx to watch the Yankees and the Rays today. On the Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees lead 7-5. If the Yankees could hold on, this would be a nice win for them. They have not had many of these types of come-from-behind wins this year. And this would be against a good team. And with a big hit by a guy who's really been slumping, Vernon Wells. Jamie Wright, the new pitcher for the Rays, the 5th pitcher used by Joe Madden. And those are his numbers. And he will face Ichiro Suzuki.
Well, you know, Michael, you're right, exactly, about the feel-good nature of everything, because Vernon Wells is kind of feeling like the odd guy out now with the new Almonte success in his first 2 games. So you got 2 real pluses here. You got a second straight good day from a rookie, and you got a huge hit from a veteran guy that's really been struggling. So A lot of different options now open up. If Almonte can continue to hold his own, as you see Rivera, who's held his own for a long time. If Almonte can hold his own, boy, the switch hitter gives you a lot of balance, and then you can use Wells to help Hafner in the DH hole as well. So you have a little protection for Hafner with Wells. And you just have more options and more balance when you get another switch hitter back in the lineup, because they really missed Teixeira and that balance he gave them.
I mean, as a manager, that's what you want is some options against certain pitchers or certain teams. And Joe Girardi, if you think about it, it's probably been one of the better jobs he's done as a manager, is trying to figure out certain ways to win games. And, you know, it's just not penciling in your superstars anymore.
So Ichiro swings and misses. Wall's now an interested spectator after the pinch hit double. Something to smile about for him. Here's Cano. 1-0. That one skips to the screen. 2-0. Trying to tie up Cano.
See, Robbie, I mean, there's been 4, 5, 6 different times where he's just taking pitches. He doesn't even attempt to look. You can just tell when he lays that bat on the shoulder, he's just not even going to take it. He's just going to see how these guys are coming after him. Again, there's another one. Robbie realized he might have, thought a lot about hitting last night, and just say, hey, I got to be more patient. These guys aren't giving me a lot to hit. Sometimes you just become over aggressive, and you start lunging a little bit, and you just start swinging at balls out of the zone because you got to make up your mind too quick. I feel like lunging it wouldn't make that big a difference, but it does. The ball gets on you that much quicker. You got to make a decision.
You saw Kevin Long say something to Wells, and they've been working a lot together. Wells has been getting here to the ballpark very early, working on keeping the hands closer to the body, inside the ball, they say. And the last couple of times, although he was 0 for 11 coming in, Wells was driving the ball to right field, which is a good sign. He was not sitting and trying to pull everything, and he exhibited that in that double. And Cano, his 4th walk of the day. So he's 1 for 1, a single, a run scored, 2 runs scored, 3 runs scored.
I'll tell you what, that's a good day, too, because those are the pitches. Remember last night, the night before, that he was swinging at. Ball's bouncing up there. Just because you're a great hitter, you want to hit. You want to see strikes, you want to hit, but there are times where he's just going to have to take walks and allow people behind him to do good jobs and drive him in.
And a lot then falls on the shoulders of Hafner, because you've got to make people pay for walking Cano. And that is a career high for Cano, 4 walks in 1 game. He's usually swinging the bat. And Hafner takes the strike.
A little different. Robbie takes some pitches, and they're not even close. Hafner takes a pitch, and it's kind of a hanging slider right down the middle of the plate.
Runner goes. Throw to second. Cano with a stolen base. Cano getting frisky. Had a stolen base yesterday, too.
Tell you what, you see him leaning, kind of cheating. They're not going to watch you. Might as well take it.
To turn a walk into a double. Whoa. Boy, Escobar with a really nifty tag, reaching behind him there, a little closer than you thought. Watch the glove. You don't think there's any chance, and then back. Oh, right on the shoulder. Might have got him. Hard call to get an umpire to make, but that's bang, bang, really close.
1-1. 2-1. Alex Colomé started. You can see why they like him. Got good stuff, but lost the plate and was hurt by an error in the 5th inning. Then Alex Torres came in. You can see why they love him. Pitched an inning and 2/3, 3 strikeouts, retired all the batters he faced. Then Peralta comes on, got in trouble. Jake McGee couldn't clean it up, and now Jamie Wright. Cano goes. Foul back.
I mean, just getting his conditioning. If you walk, you don't run the bases, you don't do much, you might as well steal some bases.
Got some pent-up energy
That's
out there, right?
Cano has 5 stolen bases this year and has not been caught.
But that percentage leads in American League, right?
I think so, yes.
Tied for the lead with somebody.
Ground ball into the teeth of the shift. And they get Hafner as Cano moves to third. So Travis today is 1 for 4. An infield single is only hit. Jabba throwing alongside Mariano. Mariano pitched last night, got the final 3 outs. It was not a save situation. The Yankees were up by 4, so if Overbay hits one out here, and again they're up by 4, you'll see Jabba come in and not Mo. Count 1-0.
You see a lot of balls, a lot of counts where pitchers have been behind today, and you just get the feeling, you know, the game is not as quick. It's a slower paced game. It all comes down to whether those pitchers are going to be aggressive and throw strikes and make things happen, or early Colomé behind a lot of hitters, a lot of base runners. Those are stressful pitches, huh, Coney?
Big
in
time.
Scoring position.
Yeah, you know, it was really Overbay's double off of Peralta that kind of got that inning going after, obviously, some of those walks in there. That was the big hit that inning, other than Wells's. But Overbay right in the middle of it, just finds himself in the middle of things. Tends to get good at-bats at big spots. You know, you look at his overall numbers, 250. His RBIs are pretty good. But just in the clutch, Paulie, he's just continually gotten deep counts and gotten good swings and good at-bats.
Line drive to right field. Fold makes the play, and that will do it. So Overbay hit it hard, but right at Fold. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. 9th inning coming up. It'll be against Mo. 3 outs of what would be a nice win for the Yankees, and he's having a phenomenal last season in the big leagues at the age of 43. Said he was going to retire. But David, you mentioned this at the start of the broadcast. He's doing it with a little bit of a different arsenal than usual.
Well, he's still making adjustments, and I guess you never stop making adjustments, and Mariano's a very smart pitcher, and you see the normal cutter right to left movement, and we've seen him throw two-seamers into righties. But how about lefties? This is sinker-like. That ball looks like a true sinking two-seamer and actually getting swings and outs with it. And we haven't seen that twist from Mariano very often, but he's a smart guy. He knows what he needs to do to make adjustments on the fly, and it looks like he's got a real good feel for that two-seamer against righties and lefties, Paulie.
25 saves in 26 opportunities. And he's going to face 4, 5, and 6 in the Rays order. Longoria, Myers, and Escobar. Longoria has scored 2 today, a home run, a double, and an intentional walk. And there's a strike to Longoria. Longoria has decent numbers against Mo. 4 for 13, and 2 of those 4 have left the park. And the count 0-2.
And right on cue, 2 straight two-seamers, and that last one was nasty, Paul. That ran in hard underneath the hands of Longoria.
Yeah, and that pitch was kind of originated way back with Edgar Martinez. He didn't have anything that he could get Edgar out with because Edgar could handle that cutter away, and that's when he started messing around with a two-seamer into righties. But you said that he's throwing that thing to lefties now too, which is kind of unfair. I mean, it's hard enough to try to hit that cutter in, but when you can sink that ball in the outside corner too, I don't know where you go with that. That's nasty right there.
Mariano never getting enough credit for how smart a pitcher he is, because everybody always says, oh, he just throws one pitch. That's a hard, heavy two-seam fastball that just darts down and in. Even if Longoria hits it, he can't keep that one fair. Either that or you break your thumbs.
Yeah. The only thing you can do with this is get jammed and foul him off.
Here's Will Myers. That one's right off the fist and fouled away.
You just don't understand. That was a 15-foot pop-up because that ball just kept coming in. Broke his bat. Now he's got one he can break the righty's bat. He's always been able to break a left-hander's bat.
So used to seeing right to left movement coming from your television screen from Mariano. Boy, you see that opposite movement, that left to right movement. Will Myers get a new bat.
That one was all taped up and ready to go. Maybe he knew Mariano was out there.
Just broke that bat. He hit that grand salami with those last at bat.
He was poised to be the hero before Vernon Wells pinch hit, double cleared the bases, gave the Yankees the lead. That one hit off the foot of Myers in the count 0-2.
Tell you what, he's all two-seamers today. That ball back in on his hands.
When's the last time you've seen Mariano Rivera throw 6 straight two-seam fastballs? That's about all you can do with it. It chases you inside, so even if you get around on it, you hit it right down on your foot.
This is a blast, isn't it? I broke a bat, hurt my hand. Now I beat one off my shin. What else you got out there?
See, Mariano shakes to get back to the two-seamer. That's how much confidence he's feeling.
Foul back here. Out of play.
Romine threw down a little cutter away, and Mo says, let's stay with this other thing. Got a new toy.
Yeah.
Now it becomes a little bit of a guessing game against him. You're not only facing the pitcher with unerring control, but you have to wonder what he's going to throw. You used to know he's throwing the cutter and you couldn't hit it.
You get one here.
And it's tapped right side. Overbay flips to Mo. Not in time. Myers beat it out. So the kid has 3 hits today as he hustles that one into a single.
Yeah, you got to put this one on Overbay here because Mariano breaks well. He's a great athlete. He's there in time. Look at him. He's got him beat even though he's breaking it down, but Overbay flips it too high and too slow. And you get a better view right here. But anytime a first baseman's going to go this far off the line, you got to stand up and throw it to Mariano. Give it to him now. That little flip right there, that ain't working.
Yeah, you're right. Mariano's always been good at getting over there, fielding his position.
Bang, bang.
Moving well, Will Myers. Power and a little bit of speed there to go with it. Mariano can't believe it. Just a little too far for the flip from Overbay.
Yunel Escobar gets one on the thumbs, knocks the bat out of his hand, and fouls it off.
The pitchers, you know, that's a tough play, Paul. You got to get over there, cover. You got to find the bag, find the ball, and you love it when first baseman just give it to you. Give it to you soon, so then you can find the bag after.
Now, David, he's not changing because he's trying to be cute. He probably thinks that the cutter is not as sharp as it used to be.
Well, that's part of it. I think maybe also sometimes pitchers just all of a sudden you get a feel. You start working on a new grip, even though it's not necessarily a new grip, but maybe he's feeling something in his hand, and all of a sudden, whoa, he's seeing this movement, and the confidence is growing with each time he throws it.
The 0-2. 94 miles an hour.
94, too.
Last night he hit 93. So he's trying to save this for Sabathia. Grounded to short. There's one. And he throws the ball away. Give some credit to Myers, who won it hard at second base.
That might have been just one step too far to get to the bag, especially as good as Robbie is. You see, he took 4 or 5 steps. Robbie's so good at turning that double play. But
no doubt about it. Give it up. Robbie's there. You got to give that ball up. And you see Nix gets caught in between. And not only that, it goes in the dugout. So, you know, Nick's so solid, but he just kind of lost where he was on the field, as did Overbay. So a couple of miscues from the normally solid Yankee defense on the infield.
And Cano had a nice talk with him at second base to tell him, you got to flip that ball to me, game would be over. So the runner moves to second on the E6. He reaches on the fielder's choice. Yankees' first error of the afternoon, and here's James Loney. He's a tying run. Yankees up 7-5, 2 outs. Strike.
There's a cutter. And my only question is, he's so accustomed to throwing that cutter. Do you lose the feel at all for that cutter when you start throwing that two-seamer a lot?
That's ultimately the question.
The 0-1. 1-1, throwing hard. And the 1-1. 1 strike away.
That looks like movement away, but that's a backdoor cutter. And you know, when you can paint both sides, that ball's out of here in the hitting area and comes right back. Just freezes a hitter.
This should do it. Ground ball to Cano. And the Yankees win a beauty, 7-5. Mariano nails it down in the 9th inning. No runs a hit and 1 man left. And Mo has now converted 40 straight save opportunities at home. That's the second longest streak of his career. He had 51 between 07 and 10. But that man, Vernon Wells, is the reason the Yankees are going home winners with his pinch hit, bases loaded, bases clearing double to give the Yankees a lead, and they held on. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. Yankee bullpen again does its job. Some big hits. Zoilo Almonte contributes again. We'll come back and give out an award.